This is what a hippo's asshole does.
Oh, pray it's not a hungry one.
Oh God!
A hungry.
Welcome. Don't tell me that's how the episode starts.
In case you're just joining us,
Shooting the shit.
Welcome to an episode of So to Speak where, so two things. It is the 69th episode of this show.
nice.
69.
Yes. Are we gonna be adults about this? So
No way.
So get this. It's the 69th episode of our show. Yes, we will, get into why we're going to talk about stuff on the 69th episode. And it's also, we happen to be, even though it's technically a Valentine's Day episode, we are recording this on Chinese New Year, and we're also eating dinner as we talk.
Yeah,
So
we ordered pizza.
yeah, the choices. Cody proposed, hey, what do you guys want to do for dinner? Either pizza or Chinese. We completely forgot it was Chinese New Year, so we kind of missed an opportunity. But then Josh said...
What did I say?
You said...
Why not just put the Chinese food on the pizza?
Oh no, I'm not making two stops.
When we show us, we didn't call it decisions.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
How's everybody doing?
Well, January, aside from the fact that I turned 30 and spent 5 lovely days pet sitting for a friend,
you want to talk about we're all going to be adults?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm the only 30-year-old on this show now. I have to be the voice of reason.
30-year-old so
Oh wait,
far.
Evan, did you see that song that I showed you? That Bo Burnham song, 30?
I'll have to check
Oh,
it
is that
out.
from Inside? I still have
I
to
think-
watch/listen to that.
I will.
It's Lyle's favorite.
Yeah, I should give it another chance. I didn't really like it the first time.
He talks about just how I just the pains of turning 30.
Yeah.
Just when you get older, it's just like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
1 minute I'm helping my mom build a birdcage, and then all of a sudden I'm doing I'm doing this. I'm turning 30. Oh fuck.
And making an album during the pandemic. What a foreign concept.
By the way, do you remember? Do you guys remember? What was I gonna say? The craziest birthday song I've ever heard was Weird Al Yankovic's birthday song. Happy birthday to you. It's a birthday. It happens every year. We're gonna have a big party and drink a lot of beer, and then it just goes like crazy. It's basically like if the movie Project X was a song, Weird Al Yankovic made it.
I don't know. I think it's a lot. Weird Al's a lot happier than Project X.
Oh God, yeah.
A lot cleaner too.
I think that's almost 10 years old.
That movie is 10 years old in like a
Don't
month.
you mean Project X years old?
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh my God!
XX.
You know what else is gonna on May the 4th? You know what's gonna be 10 years old?
An old joke that you're about to do.
Avengers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God! I thought it was going somewhere else. That was Disney owned.
Well, that's what it. Well, I was okay. So
What doesn't it?
our friend. Okay, so the past 2 years, our friend David got some of us together, like virtually, to do a marathon of all the Star Wars movies on May the 4th. Luckily, I was able to get work off on those days for last year's, but this year I'm like, I am 3 years marathoning Star Wars in a row. No. I would rather spend May the 4th acknowledging the Avengers and the fact that
You're right. You should watch the Roger Corman film that has Uma Thurman in it. I agree. They should totally do a remake of that, and then it can be the true Avengers, not Avengers Assemble, as it's actually known in the UK.
Yeah.
The Avengers came first. You hear that?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think
I
that's...
think Doug Walker made that joke when he reviewed the Avengers, that one.
I think that, not gonna lie, I think that's where I got it from.
And also Red Letter Media, remember Half in the Bag, they're like, alright, we're gonna go to the movies to go see the new Marvel movie, The Avengers, and they go in, and it's a completely dead theater. They're like, whoa, I would expect it to be more packed for the opening night of Avengers, and they sit down, they're like, oh, the movie's starting, and then they're like, oh, fuck, this is the 1998 The Avengers movie. Oh, okay, whatever, we'll just stream on our phone, there's like a bootleg here.
That's the one with Sean Connery and a bunch of Guys dressed like bears.
Bears, yeah. I haven't seen it.
That sounds
dumb.
unbearable.
Wow, that Country Bears prequel must be very interesting.
Oh wow.
Yeah, say that again.
Oh no! Country Fair
How unbearable!
How unbearable.
That day is tonight.
Yeah.
I'm a dad.
No, the only thing Star Wars related that I'm excited for forever and always now is the Obi-Wan show.
True. Also, if you've been to this, as of this recording, if you've been following the Book of Boba, by the time this episode's released, the Book of Boba Fett's going to be probably finished, or at least its first season. But at this point in time, they just actually we can't talk about it. Damn it, because Lyle hasn't seen it. So
Yeah, I don't like that show.
I don't care to see it.
no, you know what?
See, Josh is ambivalent, and I'm irate.
Well, Josh, Josh, and well,
What if I was ambivalent irate or irately ambivalent?
I'm just cautiously optimistic. That's why I watch it. Like, I have no expectations. I'm just like, yeah, it's a little slow. Like, the past 4 episodes have been very slow.
It's like watching It again.
oh, don't worry, they drop the flashbacks.
Yeah, you're all caught up with that now.
It's funny if you get rid of the Fett and it was just Book of Boba, it would be a really interesting bubble tea documentary.
Boba Fett, more like Bobo Fat. Because he does look big in the role. I'm sorry. I don't want to
shaming much.
I'm sorry.
He takes his helmet off too damn much. Original Boba wouldn't do that.
Well, I mean, like, they do in The Mandalorian, they have this whole concept where it's like, real Mandalorians don't remove their helmets.
Oh, I don't know. He's someone that got the shaft.
Yeah. Is his name Jeremy Bucket or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Jeremy Buckets. I was going to call him Jeremy Buckets because they like to call his character Buckethead to his kid.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for him because it's like he's basically erased from the canon now. All the work, like his voice is.
Oh, his voice, yeah, they erased it. Yeah.
He does the body double, sure, but he's not really the character.
Oh, right, yeah.
Tamura Morrison's basically Boba Fett now.
You know, that reminds me of a song I once heard. There's a hole in the cannon, dear bucket, there's a hole in the cannon which will never be filled.
No.
The Star Wars canon?
My, you Anakin guy. Maybe Vader someday. Later now.
Oh, no, I see what you did there. You brought it back to Weird Al, because we were talking about Weird Al.
Yeah, there we go.
Wow.
I think one of the greatest musical moments of my life was seeing him live in the summer of 2019, because Marty and I both really have loved him for years, and actually getting to see him in decent seats, too.
Nice.
It was a lot of fun, and just to be around a lot of people that love him. I don't know if I'll see him again, because, current world state, but he is coming through Toronto in August, so maybe some people will see it.
The only concert I ever saw recently that was canceled just because of the pandemic was the War on Drugs. I'm like, I could have saw them at the...
Yeah, Waves was coming back again to Toronto. I wanted to see them again. They released a new album. So
you mean they're coming back in another wave?
No more waves of COVID. Like,
well, see, that was a double joke. You had to really think about that one.
Ooh.
Actually, Josh, do you know who Nova Amor is?
Nova Amor. No, I can't say I do. I know Pizza Nova or Aldo Nova.
He's like a folk indie singer. He kind of gives me a lot of Bon Iver vibes because Veronica and I right now are playing the 3rd Life is Strange game. And
True Colors. I've heard some good things about that.
It's not bad so far. It's a little slow, but the graphics are much better than the first two.
What's the name again?
Life is Strange True Colors.
No. The person you were talking about.
Nova Amor. He's written some songs for this new.
Very nice.
Yeah, and I've never heard him until because the fun thing that I like to do when Veronica, she pretty much takes the helm when we play the Life is Strange games.
oh, nice.
It's like I find it nice, chill, and relaxing watching her make the decisions. But I'm also Shazamming the whole time because it's just like song after song after song of like stuff that we're into, like all this indie stuff. And I never heard Nova Amor until playing this new game, and I'm digging it. He has great stuff.
Yeah, so that's cool, because Veronica, sometimes we used to play video games a year ago. She played Majora's Mask and also Detroit Become Human.
Yes.
And I just kind of sat and watched
Those are two very interesting games to play together.
Right.
Well, like, I was really happy when she and Lyle took on Majora's Mask, because I've been telling Lyle, you will love the story that it creates. And
I enjoy watching the game. I didn't enjoy playing it.
I'm sorry to ruin your perception. I just had a crazy thought of Majora's Mask, but if it was a David Cage production.
David Cage.
Oh.
Oh yeah,
Everything would
Heavy
be
Rain. Yeah.
everything would be a quick time event.
Wait, he did do Detroit, right?
Yeah, he wrote
Okay,
it.
okay.
Yeah, Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, Detroit Become Human, and then in the Star Wars Eclipse game, that's Quantic Dream as a whole.
Wait,
Beyond Two Souls, I was okay with. I just didn't. We played it where it was out of order in terms of timeline, where it was like a Tarantino. I rather just played it linear. Yeah. Like I didn't understand why there had to been the option to like.
Yeah, when Veronica and I played through Detroit Become Human, we played the perfect ending, like the good ending. I'm like, that's all I really need. I want to see these characters I want to see them okay.
Yeah, no, Detroit and Heavy Rain were the best. Honestly,
I like Detroit Become Human.
If David Fincher,
Brown, man.
If David Fincher or Denis Villeneuve decided to do an adaptation of Heavy Rain, I'd be perfect. Perfect, absolutely.
I want to see a show with Hank and what's the name of the cop robot? I forgot his name already.
Marcus.
Connor.
Connor.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
No, Marcus
think about it. Mr. Krabs is this detective. That's literally what Clancy Brown's character in Detroit is. It's Mr. Krabs if he were a detective.
Now, since we're talking about games getting turned into movies or shows, there's one thing I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to Cody because a couple months ago you sent me, at the time there's just a teaser, but Cody, I guess Cody appreciates the fact that I'm a Halo fan because you sent me the teaser for the Paramount Plus Halo series, and they dropped the full-length 2-minute trailer just a couple days ago as of this recording, and it looks pretty decent.
Yeah, it could be something.
The fans are complaining hardcore about the way Cortana looks.
I'm watching
you could just ignore it like how you can ignore Cortana in Windows altogether.
Well, no, because in the context of the Halo games, Cortana is one of the most... Well, because I have an action figure of her, and she's the basically coded silhouette of a naked woman, but...
She's a sexy Siri.
Well, for Halo Infinite...
So, and alluring Alexa.
No, so...
There you go. That's good, too.
For Halo Infinite, they have Cortana in the game, but they gave her, a uniform, to kind of cover up the fact that she was a naked, Spectre, and I'm not...
It wasn't that long ago, right? It was 10 years ago?
Halo 5... I know in Halo 4... Halo 4 came out in 2013, and
Guardians was 2016?
Halo 5 Guardians was 2015.
5 Halos?
Yeah, don't fucking remind me. Okay.
Oh.
Throughout COVID, I actually replayed...
I thought they only made up to 4.
In the pandemic? Oh. No, they've technically made 6. They technically made 7. Here's the chronology of Halo is...
Here we go.
Halo
in
2000...
Combat Evolved 2, 3,
Combat
ODST,
Evolved
4... Okay. Let me see. Then
ODST...
5 Guardians, Infinite.
Oh, wait, no, so there's Combat Evolved, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 3 ODST, Halo Reach.
Oh, so it was
Halo 3, the 10-year anniversary, the Combat Evolved 10-year anniversary re-release, Halo 4, Halo 5 Guardians, and now Halo Infinite. So there's 9.
I guess you can throw the Master Chief Collection in there somewhere in the Halo Wars games. I don't follow this series very closely.
Master Chief Collection is an anthology, but it kind of counts as its own game because they have new multiplayer perks specifically for those of us who are still playing Halo 3 and Halo Reach multiplayer in that game. But yeah, which I still am. So in terms of my gaming life, since to bring this on full, so no, I don't want to get too off topic. So to talk about, so I gave my 2 cents on the Halo series, but
do you think it's going to adapt, just tell its own story?
It's totally doing its own story. Okay. It's not following the. It doesn't look like it's following the lore because
it's probably the better way of doing it.
Because you know how the Halo universe, there's more than just games. There were novels, there were graphic novels and stuff like that, and to tie in stuff that happens between the games. And Halo Reach, the prequel game, it's a great game to play, but the story got a ton of flack for saying, "Oh, this basically cancels out what Master Chief was doing on the planet Reach when it got destroyed by the Covenant."
Okay.
No, it does. Halo Reach exists in its own vein of story, but from what it looks like, the story is going to tell the life of Master Chief before the first Halo ring is found by humanity.
Mm-hmm.
So. By the way, Lyle and I got Lyle. I didn't get Lyle like into Halo, but he and I played the first game on co-op, and
yeah, we beat it.
Well, you showed it to me last summer for the first time.
Well,
I never played Halo ever in my life until you showed
and
me.
didn't
it.
you?
Only played a little bit of 3 myself.
Did we make your friend KJ proud? Or was it KJ or Pat? One of your friends is a big Halo fan.
I'm actually not sure which one is into Halo.
I know KJ's the Spider-Man fan, so maybe it was Pat. I don't know.
Pat, I don't know if he's ever played Halo. His brother's a really big gamer. It's kind of where he gets his expertise from.
But
I just know the theme, like
I saw this one video where this 40-year-old man was like singing that song to a woman to impress her.
The Halo
and she was just like, "Nice job, nice job, man." Looks like you.
Well, Gregorian chants can't please everybody.
But especially when you do them alone.
But anyway, so I still so during the pandemic, my brother kind of gave me his Xbox One because he wasn't playing it anymore. He plays all his games on Steam. So one of the things, when I got the Xbox One, I started playing Master Chief Collection after like a decade, and after almost like 13, 14 years of not touching any of the Halo games, like with the exception of like going over the occasional friend's house and playing a couple rounds.
Yeah.
But like I haven't played it like actively. Because when I was in high school, I played Halo 3 religiously. Josh knew me in that phase of my life.
We there was that time in like fall 2007 where everybody played a little bit of Halo 3.
Yeah.
It was actually Call of Duty for me, where I came from.
I played Call of Duty 4.
Call of Duty.
But
Modern Warfare 2 was everywhere.
For me, it was definitely Black Ops.
I played it, of course, because everybody else was.
I played Black Ops Blood Mode. Our friend Brandon's copy a couple of years ago. Beat the story mode, the campaign on easy in a weekend, and then returned it.
Nice.
It's funny. It's the only game my dad can play.
Your dad can play Black Ops?
He can play Black Ops 1 and 2. Every other game just utterly confuses him.
Oh, yeah.
I like those consoles where...
Well, what did he think of the ending of Black Ops 2? Because I wonder if he even knew who Avenged Sevenfold were.
He didn't play his story mode. He just played bots. He just likes shooting people, I guess. I don't know.
I was going to say, I like those consoles where they're the old school consoles, but they're all smaller and slimmer, and they have all the games.
Oh, like
and then they go out of sale. They sell out very quickly, and then if you want to get one now, it's ridiculously expensive.
Have they done PlayStation? They've done PlayStation 1.
Yeah,
they did PlayStation Classic. It didn't do very well because it was literally trying to piggyback off of the NES and SNES Classic.
I looked at the list, and they don't even have Metal Gear Solid. I was like, what?
Hold on, I believe they do.
They do.
They
didn't have Tomb Raider. They didn't have Crash.
Twisted Metal.
But here's the best part though. If you want those games on there, and you have a PlayStation Classic, it's very easy to look up how to actually mod it to put your own games on there, and way more.
Or you could get the Crash reboot or the Spyro Reignited.
Well, yeah, but which is actually topical because it's kind of weird to see former PlayStation staples Crash and Spyro now on Team Microsoft because. As of last week, Microsoft acquired Activision Blizzard King for almost $69 billion.
Wow, nice.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
So that means Overwatch is a Microsoft game now.
Wow. Oh, that's right, yeah.
All right, Tracer prequel game.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
so on another topic, our buddy Tim...
Cody, in both North American and PAL regions as well as Asian regions, Metal Gear Solid was a game.
Maybe it was Twisted Metal I'm thinking of.
No, the first Twisted Metal was on North American and Power ones, but not Asian ones.
I just remember having a gut reaction to reading the list of all the games.
It's a very underwhelming list for PS1.
Yeah.
Which is why I love having a PS3 where you can get a lot more PS1 stuff still in the store.
Right.
Hopefully Sony won't shut down the store this year. They tried last year.
You know, it's interesting story about Overwatch. My buddy Tim, who we did the video game episode with him. He hasn't been on the show in a while, man.
No, he hasn't.
So, Tim is currently like in his life situation. He's in between. He's at a crossroads where he's like trying to figure himself out. But while he's doing that, he's gaming a lot on the daily, and he tried to get Lyle and I into online Overwatch, and we got a lot to learn. We got our asses handed to us.
Yeah, I don't enjoy playing online.
But on the contrary,
it's not a good experience.
On the contrary, Tim and I are now playing Fortnite religiously. So
I went through that phase.
Oh, come on, Cody. Now I'm at a point where
I have yet to play it, and I do not ever intend to play it, even though Epic now owns developers of Rock Band, which is not a good sign.
I don't even build the forts.
Me neither.
I just try to survive. I crouch down in bushes until it's like, oh, I have to get into the new radius. Yeah. Oh, I have to get into the new... I've won a few times just by pure luck.
Nice.
This is all foreign to me.
Wow. So
it's just last man standing, and it's like
Fortnite. It's basically like zany.
Well, I know what it is. I just don't care to play it.
Yeah. So the thing
I got sick of it fast.
Oh, Evan, you like it?
I like it. The cool part is where grinding is fun. Like, cause my buddy Jody, who lives out,
I don't think anyone has ever said, you know what's fun? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. I think some guy in some video game said something about that once.
The definition of insanity.
Same shit and expecting shit to change.
Oh my god. So the thing is, the cool part, what I like about Fortnite is like, I like the aspect of playing with a friend or a friend or three other friends. That's the teamwork aspect. I actually think is kind of cool because, like,
it's fun playing in groups.
Yeah, it's totally fun playing. That's
probably why I fithered.
That's why. Well, Cody, you don't. I'm not. No pressure or anything. But like, Tim and I are always Tim and my friend Jody. We're always he and I. The three of us have played together a couple times and. We recently had a session last night, and it was actually one of the funnest times I've had gaming in a long time. It actually brought me back to the day where the feeling that I had when I was playing with my brother and our two closest friends online in Halo. It actually got to I was getting those vibes. It was a lot of fun. Also, the fact that Fortnite is cool by letting you customize your avatar however you please, and there's all kinds of cool characters that wind up in the online store. So I am rocking the Spider-Man look like a motherfucker. And no, I'm rocking Spider-Man. I'm just popping caps in people's asses. It's so fun. And then there'll be a guy who looks like Batman. Hey, Batman.
And do a stupid dance afterwards.
Nah, we don't do the stupid dance. I do
it's like Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny if taken seriously. Or taken completely unseriously.
Oh, like Ready Player One.
I'm getting that.
We need that. Well, where's the Mr. Rogers skin?
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
The champion stood, the rest saw their better.
Mr. Rogers in a funny sweater. Oh my god! Why the hell hasn't... Yo, who's the developer that made Fortnite? Epic?
I think so, yeah.
Epic. Make a Mr. Rogers avatar and have Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny by Lemon Demon in the game. You can have songs in the game. This is the ultimate showdown.
As funny as that sounds, I can guarantee you, I'm sure the Rogers estate would not allow that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cody, if you ever are looking, if you want to play with a group, call me and Tim and I will play with you anytime.
Or get into some really good select strategy games and set aside an entire day and play that.
Yeah.
Those are something.
Here's a change in subject. Now that things are open again, what's the thing that you guys are eager to get back to or to try out?
Going to the movies.
Just going to the movies.
Stability. Just general stability, because who knows if in 4 to 6 weeks we'll be right back here again.
Who knows, yeah.
I really fucking hope not.
I've been trying to take Veronica to the ROM. We haven't been there yet.
Nice.
I haven't been to the ROM in a couple of years. It's not bad.
We did the aquarium a couple of years ago.
I've never been to Ripley's. I know I have once, but I haven't.
It's cool.
I took Veronica once. It was great.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
No. Now, just so you know, our audience knows that all our voices are different, right? So just to clarify,
no, we are the collective.
Yeah,
we are the hive mind.
I am George. I'm new to this show.
You will. Oh, get out of here, George.
Hi there, George.
Well, we have
George.
Barney. We have Barney.
George.
Barney. I'm an alcoholic.
Call
this is the Girl Scouts.
Why were asking?
Here's it. Where's it? You girls can't admit you have a problem.
We also, a year later, we did the Ontario Science Center, which I was a little underwhelmed by.
That place is under my heart for the Science
More people...
It's more kid-friendly.
No, you know what?
I like the marble thing.
Okay.
I love where the balls go around the circle.
I can watch that for hours.
Ontario Science Center. If, given how, I want to say a fourth at the very least of the population of Canada or the U.S. believes in alternative facts. We need to make the Science Center free so people can go there and learn about things. Because too much.
While we're talking about the Science Center, I got a field trip story.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Evan remembers this. In 8th grade, I think it was 6th through 8th grades went to the Science Center, and we all saw 7th and 8th. The Body Worlds exhibit.
Yes.
That was the thing.
We were in 8th grade. Yeah, I remember that.
And that was hardcore at the time for us 13 and 14-year-olds.
Well, do you know? Yeah, no. I remember. I was afraid that I was going to be repulsed. No, it was fascinating. Have you guys ever been to Body Worlds?
I've heard of it. I know of it.
Okay, Body Worlds. It's basically real cadavers are put on display so that you can see real organs, real muscle strains,
real organs, real adventures.
Yeah. No, Body Worlds, you will get a up close and personal look at how the body works. Oh, I remember we went to the IMAX theater and we saw what the inside of an artery looks like, what the inside of a stomach looks like. Wow.
Oh yeah. Was it before or after the clogging? That was quite a long. It was kind of weird because it's even the Science Center as a whole. I also remember even certain layout things like how the cafeteria area looks.
Right,
certain exhibits, even though some have moved. I think the sports one may have moved, but it was weird seeing something as visceral as Body Worlds. And then that evening, I think a bunch of us were at a sleepover at your house that evening, and we were just having pizza and playing.
Oh my god! Was it that evening? Oh my god! Yeah,
it was. I believe it was.
Yeah, I had you and two other friends over for. I wanted to have a holiday dinner.
I thought there was 6 of us in total, maybe 8 of us. May have been more.
There was you, me, my brother. That's 3, and then there's 5 of us. No, including my mom. Yeah, it would have been 6. But yeah, no.
I thought there was more, but
no, it was you, me, Daniel, and B-Man. That's what we called our friend Brandon back in the day. We know a lot of Brandons.
I actually remember the first field trip I ever took to Toronto when I was still living in Windsor was in grade 12. Actually, we went to Much Music. It was.
Oh yeah, we went there in 5th grade.
Awesome.
Josh and I went there in 5th grade,
and it was so cool. I loved being on the studio and seeing how they actually do things. In between commercial breaks, they literally just blast music, and then everyone's just kind of on this. It's it feels like you're at a club.
Yeah,
even though I've never been to a club.
Electric Circus for 30 seconds.
And then they'd be like, "Okay, you group of kids stand over here in front of the host. Okay, we're about to go back on live. Okay, the camera pulls in. It's like, hey, welcome back to Much Music. Now we're about to." And it was
what year would that have been? I'm curious because we went. It was 2003,
2011. Yeah, that was the same day they dropped the music video for Judas by Lady Gaga.
Ah, okay, yeah, wow.
And funny enough, Sam Roberts did a live performance there, and I was pretty fucking close to the stage. And when he reached out at the end, I touched his hand.
Nice.
So a buddy of mine,
back when touching hands was cool.
Yeah,
and
I remember
there wasn't fear around it.
I remember those days. It feels like ages ago.
Oh. I just got to get used to being outside in general. Yeah. Being inside a lot, it's
not good.
Dry in here, and there's static electricity everywhere.
Well, I'm pretty sure we got hit by 55 centimeters of fucking snow recently.
Oh, we're gonna probably get another 20.
We're getting another 20 this week. Yay!
Great.
Oh,
I'm gonna be caught. I'm working.
Yeah. Oh, that was the first snow day I had since high school that day.
Yeah.
I used a personal day. I called my boss. I was like, I can't come in. I waited a half an hour.
What are your guys' fondest memories of snow days?
Oh, that's a good question.
Actually. Now, because
sleeping in.
No, you know what? Okay, here's the thing.
When I hear there's a snow day, I sleep in, and then I'll just wake up and go on the fucking computer.
Here's the
snow day.
Yeah,
I sleep. Heat wave, the real shit.
I don't know how. Okay, so Lyle and Cody, you kind of grew up in the boonies. Josh and I grew up in suburbia. Cody, you grew up in Windsor. Lyle, you grew up in Rodney. Yeah. So. You would have had snow days out there constantly.
Yeah, no, I remember I had a solid week of snow days.
Really?
Yeah. That was the nicest weekend.
Oh, my God.
2 March breaks.
Exactly.
The snow days were just more the buses aren't running, so that means the kids can just stay home. My fucking parents could have easily drove me to school and no problem, but they did. It's like they could have. My dad would literally rub in my face and be like, I used to walk in
Feet of snow.
15
miles.
It's the snow.
I'm like,
15
not
miles.
okay, Boomer. Okay, Exy.
Yeah,
Okay,
no
Exy.
anecdotes.
Yeah.
So
Okay, Exy.
the thing, so just like Cody, Josh, and myself in suburbia, they didn't close the schools. But if they canceled buses, no one went to school. That was reason enough to stay home. Like we would always say, I would turn on the news after a snowfall. The buses were canceled. Now this applies to high school. And when you're in elementary school, we had to man up, and because we lived so close to the school, to our elementary school, we had to man up and go. But in high school, we had to take a bus there. If the buses were canceled, we didn't go. And also because my school, our high school, had a very large Jewish population. On the Jewish holidays, no one went to class. It would be dead.
Really?
No, no, because I know because I actually went in September on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. No one. The classes were dead, so the teachers just don't bother teaching anything because so many people would take on I'm Jewish. Like the kids who clearly. I don't want to say clearly because I never want to assume who's Jewish and who isn't, but it's like
I didn't really grow up around a lot of Jewish people just because I went to 2 Catholic grade schools and then one Catholic high school. Makes sense. Catholic high school as well.
Yeah.
And they were very not strict at our because my high school that I went to was actually a newly renovated new building of St. Anne's High School.
Oh yeah.
It used to be in Tecumseh, but then it moved buildings over into a little subdivision, or not a subdivision, but like a subtown called Lakeshore.
Yeah.
And funny enough, when the building opened, that's when I was just entering into high school.
Right. Yeah.
So new building, and I'm also new into high school. So our grade was kind of treated a little special on our graduation day years ago. I remember we had a nun in our school, Sister Monica. And there was a rumor that went on for a long time. It wasn't clarified at all. But there was a rumor that she said she used to drill this little notion into her students and say, if you masturbate, you kill a puppy. And then my buddy Pat was like, oh, how don't dogs exist anymore? I could have committed genocide. He's like, I committed genocide when it came to dogs.
Wow.
It wasn't. She was not. She was nice to me. I don't even remember her being that kind of strict. It was weird. I didn't know that many Jewish.
Isn't
people
repression great?
Yeah.
Isn't it just the worst?
Oh my god.
Hey guys, I have a bit of a question in regards to that. If a porn star dies, is it wrong to watch their content afterwards?
No.
I'd argue it's the same as consuming any sort of content from any notable person after they're no longer with us.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like if an actor or an actress dies, I can't watch a Robin Williams movie. No, whatever.
Yeah, I know. And by the way, there are a couple of sex scenes in Robin Williams movies. Like Robin Williams has, Robin Williams.
I hope none of them are in Bicentennial Man.
No, I'm thinking
it'd be a bi-sensational.
I'm thinking of
Snatch Adams.
Snatch Adams.
Just porno movies.
Hook up.
Mrs. Deepfire.
Goodwill Humping.
Wait,
it's not your fault.
That sounds like a fast food restaurant movie.
Okay. When did this become the Rule 34 episode? This is the 69th episode. We made it. We are finally going to talk about this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a random question, but no, I don't feel bad.
I don't know, because there's one lady I really liked. Her name was Shyla Styles, and after she passed, inexplicably at the age of 30 or whatever, it's I feel a little different watching her stuff. I still love her stuff. It was amazing, but it's just she's gone.
Tory Black is really the only one I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
I'm very, very familiar with Tory Black.
Did she pass away? Or?
Oh, no. Just porn star.
His incognito mode is very familiar with her.
Yeah.
I think I'm the only one out of all of you who knows who actually dated a sex worker. Not a porn star. I guess if you have here's another question. Are you a porn star if you have an OnlyFans account?
Not really.
No, I don't. I think OnlyFans has become associated with more adult content, but I think it's sort of like Patreon or Subscribestar or other sort of monthly things, and that it can be used for more general content.
Okay,
for more general things as well.
Yeah. That I've dated a sex worker, but I have not dated a porn star.
That's fine.
Oh, I'll try to squeeze in so I can see.
Here you go. Here for your back.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. My back. My back.
My back.
I can't wait to see that again in the theater.
That was great.
It was fun.
So
Back to this.
So relationships.
Right, it's the 69th episode. It's on Valentine's Day.
Yes, that's our main topic.
Oh, I guess.
I appreciate we're kind of diving into this territory because for the up until recently, I've been really insecure talking about relationships. So now I'm like, yeah, I don't feel so bad. Because
I mean, we're all a group together. We're all a group of guys.
Yeah,
that's a relationship. So it's already engaged. In a metaphysical sense.
Yeah,
you got nothing to worry about.
2 of us are engaged. One of us is in a long-term relationship. So I have a lot to cover.
Yeah.
So who wants to go first?
I mean,
what's the criteria? Is there a criteria?
No, let's just shoot the shit. Yeah. I fancied myself throughout my whole life as someone who was easy to make friends, but I never struck out good with like trying to find a date.
Seriously?
Like ever. Oh no, never.
Because what the first time we ever like talked while microphones weren't rolling, the first time you and I ever hung out as like buddies, where the 3 of us were hanging out as buddies one night when we were here in the dungeon and we were talking about relationships. You were telling me all these stories about like girls you went out with, and I'm like, wow. Like,
I did, but it took so long. You know what I mean?
Same here.
I mean, I knew even just as a young age, like I figured out that I was attracted to women at like a young age. Like I figured that out with myself. Like there was even a time where I was like, you know what? Am I attracted to guys? And I tried once to like see if I could get off on like anything like like gay related, and I didn't. Like, to be honest with you, I didn't. I'm like, okay,
we're going that far back. Okay.
Oh yeah, we're going pillow talk now.
Well,
but I knew that I was attracted to girls, but then I knew I was like, because where I came from is that like I went to a grade school from JK to grade 4 in Windsor, and everybody got along. Right, like everybody got along. It's such a diverse like group of people. Times. Yeah, like all of us like got along so nicely. We all went to each other's birthday parties. It's just like didn't back an eyelash, right?
Yeah.
And then I moved to the house that we're at now with my parents because like my mom met Steve, and like a father figure kind of comes into my life now. Like it's a lot of change all at once. New house, new family, new school. A lot of change. Like I developed a lot of like change complexity with myself afterwards.
Changing.
Someone beat me to the punch.
And the fucking second grade school I went to was kind of tough. I was the new kid. I didn't make any like friends until like the last minute. To be honest, I eventually kind of hung out with a group of friends at the last minute. I was kind of like their whipping boy ish. They did it to each other. They did it all to each other a lot, but I think it happened to me the most. But when they kind of drifted away and kind of went to the other high school, I went to like the newer high school. Then it was sort of like, all right, reset button, cool. And high school was nice. Like I met a lot of people. I never came across any enemies. Like I had either a lot of like really great acquaintances, people I can get along with, but I also wasn't doing well with finding a date. Like I really wasn't. I can easily get along with people, like to be friends, but I just didn't know how to like,
talk to girls in that kind of way.
No, actually, I got better with talking to girls in grade school, like the second grade school when I started to develop crushes. Oh fuck, I was super fucking nervous.
Oh wow,
super fucking nervous. Yep. High school,
who wouldn't be?
High school, not a problem at all.
I remember the first time I ever asked a girl out, she said no, and I still felt like that was a victory.
Really?
Because I made the move,
You at least made it, yeah. It's better to try and not
know till you know.
It's better to try and not succeed, and then just wonder like, oh, how would it have turned out?
It kind of sucked though, because I used to get picked on a lot because I would just kind of go about asking someone out.
Yeah,
and then
that's the worst.
Yeah, I remember this one girl in music class I really liked, and we both played trumpet. And then like I finally asked her out, and she was like, "No, thanks." And then like guys were like, "Hey, Lyle," she said no. I'm like, "I know." Cocksuckers.
Why do they remind you?
No, that's what they did.
Humiliate them.
Oh. No, because like I don't know. It's like I could not get a girlfriend in high school. Oh, I got 2, I guess, but they didn't really last long.
it's hot. No disrespect, but it's no disrespect to the listeners out there who marry their high school sweethearts. Like, Josh, I believe I'm not going to name drop, but someone from Thornley married his high school sweetheart, or just got engaged, right?
Yes, I believe I heard that news.
Yeah.
Congratulations to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a kind of weird, complicated topic because, like, I feel like I didn't really socially mature enough to the point I am at until within the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Because when I was a kid, it kind of felt like obviously the feelings of attraction came before any real emotional connection, and I feel like I didn't actually put those two together until relatively recently, I'd say. Because when I was a kid, you feel a certain way about someone, and you naturally assume they feel the same way, and I got used to rejection pretty fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I guess to sort of add on to Cody's, like, hitting the reset button, basically going in a general sense, going from elementary school where at least you had that structure in there, you had that general friend group, even like amongst the grade, you got along well with most people. And then everybody goes off to different high schools, and so Evan and I basically were on our own from the jump. And even though we made a new friend group, it was kind of having to then start all over in that sense because it felt like we were a small fish in a really big pond.
Yeah.
And I mean, even socially, I didn't do that much outside of hanging out with the general friend group. I think I only went to like the very last school dance, like the very last one, because I felt that a necessity, and I didn't try to date too much.
Oh God, how were your guys' proms? That's a good question.
Well,
I went to 2.
You had fun and danced with friends, but in hindsight, it also kind of felt like maybe it wouldn't have mattered if I went.
Sorry, just to kind of elaborate just a little bit, because your question, right? Like prom.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. There's like 2 girls. I'm not going to name any names. Whatever. I'll keep that. I'm keeping
We're
this
classy.
strictly.
We're not gonna.
Yeah. Don't mention
name drop.
names. Unless you're seeing them.
The first girl that I technically ever like kissed and like I guess we were kind of dating was like grade 8 going into grade 9. But this was a girl who didn't even go to either of the schools that I went to, high school or grade school. This was a girl that I met through an old friend who she happened to live near my Nana's house in Windsor. And really now to this day, she's really like probably the only person I'm in contact with that lives in Windsor, actually. Like I see her probably like once in a while and she's super chill. She's super cool. We didn't really make it official. That's the thing that was kind of interesting about it, is that like we just sort of like, hung out, do our things, kind of like, just keep it. But then it's like you drift away, but then you don't really know if it's like a committed relationship because you haven't made it official yet.
Yeah.
So then in high school, by the time it was grade 11, midway through grade 11, I don't mind dropping a name, this one, but you're familiar with this person, Kathy. The one I did the Napoleon Dynamite podcast with.
Okay.
She was my first girlfriend, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Kathy was my official first girlfriend.
Did you cook her a delicious bass?
I did. Those were the days where we quoted that movie all the fucking time.
That's awesome.
What was the Nanya cat? Was that the
Nyan cat?
Oh, she was obsessed with that. She was obsessed with that.
For about 10 years.
She was obsessed with Nyan cat and ice caps. That was her life in high school, and I just went along with
2011 feels.
And it lasted about 5 months to 6 months, and she actually broke up with me, and I can kind of sense it. It was coming along, but first love equals first crush,
Right.
and I was pretty devastated. And I think I wouldn't say it's a mistake, but I think we kind of rushed back into being friends a little too soon after that, which made things very fucking awkward. To the point where I was becoming a little bit of aggressive, and she understood where I was going through, but we didn't talk to each other the last half of high school. And then when I ended up seeing kind of a counselor throughout the midway of high school to college, because I went to St. Clair College before going to Toronto. She was there, and literally the first day on orientation day, I ran into her and I'm I'm just going to take a stab and just be like, hey, Kathy. And she retorted back. And ever since then, we've been best friends, sisters, brother and sister almost.
That's really nice.
We rebooted our relationship really well, actually. But before that, and this is to answer your question, Lyle, from before about the prom. I wouldn't say it was a rebound girlfriend, but I would say it's someone who I dated that like I felt like now the pain of like post Kathy has gone away because I'm dating someone new now. But this was very like on and off and like not really official. But I went to prom with this individual, and she was super cool. Like I went to her prom, she went to my prom because we went to two separate high schools. I met her through an old friend of mine, and that's usually when I don't know about you guys from personal experiences, but usually you find someone that clicks through a friend of your friend. Mm-hmm. Like a friend of yours who you may or may not be attracted to.
Isn't that how you and Veronica met? Through a friend?
Yes. You're jumping the gun a bit, yes. But I this individual, like I felt like, it was kind of healing me, but am I just dating her for the sake of like, at least I can find a relationship? And it was fine. It wasn't bad or anything like that, but we kind of drifted away to the point where I'm like, wait, I guess I'm single. Yeah. Like, I didn't even know. And then I dated a girl for a month, and I thought it was going to last a while. And it didn't. And here's where I can say, like, I didn't get crushed when she broke up with me through the phone, by the way. Yeah. Like, at least Kathy had the common courtesy to go to my house and talk with me and say, like, I don't think we should be together. This girl called me and did it. And I'm not
guilty
kidding.
of doing that.
And I'm not kidding. It was an Austin Powers moment where after I'm like, she broke up with me. Wait a tick. I'm single. Oh, behave. It was literally that. Like, I actually felt like, I don't give a shit. I'm single.
Did you run around naked, Cody?
I must have. Elaborate.
Oh, my God.
I must have.
It sounds really like dickish to say, because I don't know. Obviously, everyone deserves an in-person breakup, but like sometimes circumstances don't always allow for that.
I've been dumped on Facebook before, so.
Oh Jesus!
That was my first girlfriend.
I was like sort of told that they weren't interested through text, but that was through my own fault.
Yeah.
Fair.
No. If someone says they like sleeping in, let them sleep in.
Oh, wow.
Now to go into what Josh just said...
Some people like to sleep past 10 a.m. I've learned that from recent evidence.
To go into what Josh just said, just how you kind of have to like know the difference between like, are you physically attracted to them or do you actually feel a connection? I was sort of that kind of guy back then where I think I was attracted to almost like every girl that was a friend of mine, which was a problem.
Exactly.
And it's that stigma where it's like, do I want to like, see if we have a chance at doing this, but I also don't want to hurt our friendship. But also, do they like me in that way? I can't tell. Warning signs or any sort of like, any of that shit.
Yeah, and you gotta pay attention
right over
to
my
the
head.
Flags.
Yeah. Right over my head. Warning signs right over my fucking head. Like it's just in one ear out the other. I was bad at that.
It feels like my hormones kind of kicked in a little late because my guy friends in elementary school, we started noticing girls when we were leaving elementary school. Not me. I didn't notice girls till about halfway through high school, and even when I did, then I had like platonic lady friends, but I never, even the ones that I knew were single, I didn't ever contemplate like, I only contemplated like, could I have formed a relationship with like a couple of these people, like, but ultimately like I got the shit end of this stick. Well, not just being rejected, but unfortunately I wound up in a situation where I had a crush on someone, I couldn't let that crush go, and then things got awkward, and that really took a toll on me mentally.
I have a story similar to that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I'll tell it later.
Well, for me, like I was like, when high school was done, it was like, okay, I want that out of my life. I don't want to think about that ever again.
Yeah.
The bullying as a result of that wasn't a cool experience, like at all. But and I actually. I didn't realize until years later that it actually the bullying and the way, not just the bullying, but the way I beat myself up for the way that like, why couldn't I let this person go? There were so many other girls. Why couldn't I, hit on anyone else? Yeah, like just beating myself up for that, and like me constantly feeling like, wow, I deserved to have a restraining order slapped against me. That the psychological, mess that I was in I didn't understand it until like literally like a year and a half ago, I did have to see like the therapist slash intimacy coach that I'm seeing now. I had to like talk to her, and it took a couple months to get to the root, but it was like one session that we had, it was like, wow, I finally understand why I've been feeling pain for this, and it was because like I told myself that I didn't deserve to be happy because of a social mistake or a couple of social mistakes that I made. And that was, even though like I was going on dates throughout my 20s, it was stopping me from like getting like even sexual with women. And it was stopping me from getting serious with women. And that was and once I overcame that, I did finally wind up in a relationship, a brief relationship, but a relationship nonetheless, and I was really happy about that. So
at least it happened.
That's my point. Yeah,
that's sort of the thing. That's the most important thing. Is that like I know we're being very vague with individuals, but like I think we can all say like it was nice when it lasted, but clearly the end result, it doesn't matter because like if it was good, then it would have lasted, you know.
Yeah.
But what you have in the moment with these individuals is generally nice.
Well, I know, all of you came to my aid when I broke the news to you, but being cheated on is not a good feeling.
Yeah.
Nope.
No. Could I share my story?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Please, by all means.
I had about a 4-year crush on a girl.
Yeah.
And I got rejected multiple times. I kind of stopped pushing after a while. It's just like...
Was this grade school or high school?
High school.
Okay.
So it's like this... I remember the only reason I met her was because they did this like Valentine thing where you fill out a quiz and it's like, this is your matchmaker thing. And she was in my top 3 and I checked her out and I was like, oh, she's gorgeous.
Josh, did you do that shit at Thornley when we had it? Like the one... In our last year there, they did a matchmaker thing and...
I think I just did it and just like didn't think anything further. I honestly can't remember because it was that long ago, but at that point I'm guessing probably not. I think for the most part in high school, like after a while I kind of kept a low profile in like the second half. You know, I made my own like I'll own up to making my fair share of social mistakes too during that time for sure.
Yeah.
But I think after 10th grade I kind of decided to keep a low profile and just do my own thing.
Yeah. But back to what I was saying, it's like I got really obsessed with this girl. It's like I would look at her in the yearbook and be like, "Oh, she's so cute." Like it got uncomfortable after a while. My parents noticed, and my friends noticed. Even after she rejected me over the text, it was just like, So then I sunk into a depression and an obsession, which is never a good combination. And I even tried. Even when I had my first girlfriend, and she was like in grade 9, I was in grade 11 or whatever. It's like I still thought about her. And I still, like she would tell me, this is kind of shitty, girls, don't do this. If there's a guy who likes you and you reject him, don't tell him your sex life. Because when she told me that she lost her virginity, I literally sat in a field and I just kind of felt, like, down all lunch break. And then I went back. Like, I was just listening.
That's rough.
That sounds...
I just listened to Arcade Fire nonstop, and I was just like, oh, I feel so hurt right now.
I appreciate how cinematic you described that, because as a director, I was thinking... how could I direct that scene?
Our parents are crying, then we'll build a tunnel from my window to yours.
Sometimes I can't believe.
Are you finished your story?
No, it has to be the suburbs continue.
Not quite finished yet. But like, yeah, and then things kind of mellowed out. She had like 2 boyfriends at the time, and I was just like, okay. I'll move past it, but like eventually my first relationship broke up. Like we broke up because of her, because I kept bringing her up all the time. And my parents got a therapist for me, but the awkward thing was my therapist was also the girl's therapist. So if I brought her up, I could her disposition changed as soon as, because I think the girl was talking about me a lot.
First there's marriage counseling, now there's couple counseling.
Not even a couple counseling, just like crush counseling.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it kind of all comes back to like, you know, you build up this idea of someone in your head, and when it turns out to be nothing like that.
Yeah, it's like 500 Days of
How do you
Summer
deal with
kind of
it?
thing.
Oh, yeah.
But then I'll wrap it up because it's just going to be a lot of ups and downs. But eventually in prom, I didn't have a date. I could have had a date, but I bungled it up because of a really bad night at a dance. And yeah, she had her boyfriend, this girl I had a crush on. I gotta gotta say, prom's overrated, dude. It's just awkward.
It is.
It's really not all that it's cracked up to be. Everyone's like, oh, you're gonna get like you get married, you have kids, and then there's the prom, and I'm like, it's just like any other dance.
Someone bought like $200 or $300.
Wait, the prom comes after the marriage? In what world?
Well, when you have kids, I guess.
Josh, oh, that's right. Yeah.
The food was so terrible at our prom that
Yes.
someone bought like $200 to $300 worth of McDonald's cheeseburgers.
What?
I'm not kidding.
I remember
Someone came in with giant bags of just
prom
tons of fucking
royale.
burgers.
Yeah, I remember
With cheese.
Prom royale with cheese.
we had a chocolate fondue fountain, though. That was cool.
Oh, every prom does.
Ours didn't have a.
Oh,
I'm not sure at this point.
to wrap up my point, so like the last dance, I'm alone, and then my crush comes in. It's like, well, I want to have the last dance with you, and I was like, okay, because we're pretty close friends at that point. Like my feelings were subsiding, and I realized I was gonna have her, so we had the last dance together, and it was a nice tender moment. It felt like a nice cap off of this whole saga, and then I moved away, and I didn't think about her too much anymore. So, that was kind of like a more, I don't know if it's bittersweet. It's more like just like, yeah, it was a nice cap to this whole 4-year saga of constant rejection, but
yeah.
Similar situation where you found the story of when your crush lost her virginity.
Well, she even came to my mom's funeral at one point.
Yeah.
For me,
Wow.
so that's what I mean.
That
Like,
was nice.
despite all this rejection, like we did eventually become pretty close friends.
Are you still today?
No, I don't talk to her now.
Isn't she the one who sent you that long diatribe when you?
Oh yeah, she hated the fact I didn't like Black Panther.
Oh, you didn't.
Oh, this was that one.
That
Okay,
girl,
okay. Yeah, okay.
And then I stopped talking to her.
Oh man.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. No. I liked.
that episode.
I remember that. I liked Black Panther, and when I saw her reaction, like, this is overblown. Like,
Yeah, for Christ's
an
sake.
unsolicited history textbook. Like, what? The point is, but yeah, no. The point is.
Yeah, but anyways.
So
That's the kind of text you respond to with a K.
I think I literally did.
So anyway.
Okay.
So my with my crush, in truth, I don't know when my high school crush lost her virginity. For all I know, she may not have been a virgin by the time I asked her out.
Oh yeah, this story.
So, well, I'll never forget this. This is kind of goes back to like where my filmmaking roots kind of began, because I was helping my friend who was in a Comtech class, in like the last week of the school year. Like, I knew my crush for my last 2 years of high school. At the end of my second last year, I was helping my friend out with a Comtech project. We were in the school gymnasium. I'll never forget this. And then, my friend was, complaining to her friend that she was working with about how her boyfriend / prom date was being unfaithful because apparently, back in March, he fucked around with some girl in his hot tub who was like randomly at this party, and I was casually listening in the background, but then I heard she started going into details, and then they name dropped the girl who also happened to be the same name as my crush. And at first I was like, oh no, this couldn't have been like the girl I'm crushing on, could it? But then once they dropped her last name, I'm like, oh my god. Because I even though like my crush and I were never a thing in high school ever at any point.
It's almost like you dodged a bullet.
Well, yeah, because like had my crush and I actually were dating,
yeah,
that would have been cheating.
Mm-hmm.
But I was sad because, and then my friend saw like. I actually kind of sat down to catch my breath, and my friend was like, "Evan, what's wrong?" And then when I didn't respond right away, she basically said, "Evan, you knew she was like that since the day you met her." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. I did." So,
you know, what's that one Taylor Swift song where she was like there's
something about "Shame on Me Now" and being re-recorded 10 years later, and she's the I knew you were trouble.
She's the cheer captain.
You belong with me.
Story?
You belong with me.
Your cheer captain.
She's team captain, and I'm on the bleachers singing about the day.
I think back then,
song I ever heard from her.
I think back then I had this really bad tendency of focusing on the cheerleaders when I should have been focusing on the girls that were on the bleachers. Because I think I would have clicked more with the ones on the bleachers when my focus
Cody
was...
McDonald confirmed bleacher creature.
That's good. I gotta confess something. I actually had more crushes on my high school teachers than most of my peers.
I don't care about saying your name, but Miss Coolin, grade 3.
And I noticed
you were gorgeous.
Oh my god,
I noticed a
Josh,
pattern here.
I don't think we've ever had this conversation. Any crushes on teachers?
I'm gonna say negative.
Okay.
Fair enough. For me, I didn't have any crushes on teachers, but now that I look back on a few, some of them were really hot.
I had a French teacher. She was a substitute. I'll never forget this.
Oh,
like
yeah?
she was a babe.
Yeah.
Like I was in grade 6. She bent over. She was wearing a thong.
Oh shit.
Straight up wearing a thong. I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
Who can forget that?
You know, it's
Yeah, that's a formative moment in a young
What
boy's life.
fucking 11-year-old can never?
You pause there? Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
ass full of thong.
That's how I met my teacher.
Is that I suck at math, right? And
See, where's that How I Met Your Mother spin-off?
every year, like I always had a crush on my math teacher, and every year my math grades struggled as a result. I don't know that I always suck at math.
Well, I mean, I can see the correlation there.
the correlation exactly.
Lyle's
Two plus two
substitute.
equals 5.
Lyle's substitute.
You plus me equals us.
What do you see here, Chris? 2 C's and a D.
Miss.
I found that moving to Toronto was almost like another way, like I said, hitting the reset button.
Yeah.
Like I'm always like that. Try to reinjuviate yourself. Try to like do a little better.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the world was going to be my oyster. Like how eclectic and like a melting pot the city is.
Yeah.
You know, like it's great. So I thought like I would actually have some pretty good luck. I met someone who. It was through a few film sets. I'm not going to mention this person. Let's just say, in the end, it was a friend without benefits. If that's even possible.
Yeah.
Think of how complex that is. A friend without benefits, where it's like, they're around, you're kind of doing stuff, but not really. It's kind of commitment, but not really. She played a lot of games. She played a lot of stupid games. She came in and out of my life for like almost 2 years, I would say.
This reminds me of the Ed Sheeran song "Don't."
I don't know that one.
Don't with my love. My heart is so cold all over my.
I don't think we know the song.
Honey, don't.
But luckily, my legs didn't work like they used to.
Yeah.
That's a Josh joke. Wow, that's something he would.
The old pair of legs, they ain't what
You're slacking, boy. You're slacking.
But then, okay, here's the thing with me. I was always actively looking, right? Always actively trying to find somebody. Always open to like seek someone who like I did. Here's a great subject actually. Have you guys tried online dating?
Yes.
Who hasn't?
Okay.
That's how I met my last partner.
That's how I met my current partner.
Okay.
That's
So
how I met my soon-to-be wife.
I used
You-
really. Oh, you guys. Okay. Wow. So you guys had some good experiences.
We had some good experiences.
I had weird experiences where it would be people kind of catfishing me. Where I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go up with this girl.
That's happened once or twice before as well too.
I'd be like, oh, this girl wants to go see a movie with me, and she's like, it says here in her bio, literally, she's 5'4", and I went, great height, that's awesome. I see her, she's 6'1".
Close enough.
And I'm like, it's close enough.
Close enough.
She's taller than me.
I know. I'm joking.
How tall are you?
And I thought that I thought the dishonesty was all that dishonesty. That to me wasn't attractive to me.
Yeah.
I had the weirdest.
And another girl. Sorry, and I was gonna say another girl used nothing but old photos of herself.
I hate when they do
where
that.
she looked more attractive, and I hate to like body shame, but like when I see you in person, way different. And then when she added me on Facebook, I went back on her profile photos. Yeah, she used like literally nothing in her dating profile. She used nothing but photos that were like 3 to 4 years prior to how she looks like now.
Well, dating sites do advise you use current photos.
You have to use current photos. You have to.
Or just use group photos and trick the guy.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was POF I used. Plenty of Fish.
Oh,
Yeah, I used to
And
use
now I
Plenty
heard
of
that
Fish.
that's nothing but like trashy weirdos.
I got hit by like prostitutes with that
No,
app,
oh my god!
and I just deleted them.
I've had the site that I've actually had the most success with in terms of number of dates gone on per capita, I believe, was Hinge. But
Oh, yeah.
Hinge, OkCupid, close second.
Okay, Cupid, I would recommend.
Well, that's obviously because you met your lady there.
Yeah,
High five!
that's very nice.
The website I met
King of the Castle.
well,
King of the Castle.
Very nice.
I met my most recent girlfriend on eHarmony, and apparently people were like, when we were together and we told the story of where we met, it's like people still use eHarmony.
I've said that too.
Yeah, you used it.
It's
Yeah,
been around
I remember
for,
commercials for
20,
that.
almost 5 years.
Because
quite a long time.
eHarmony apparently has this formula where like they have a special matching algorithm like that gets you the best most meaningful
Yeah,
matches.
it's like that Black Mirror episode.
Maybe that's where YouTube got the idea from, and all these other big tech places got the idea from.
Because I'm the only one in this group that's single. If you were to recommend a dating site, what would you recommend? Like, I might go back to OkCupid. I'm kind of back on eHarmony right
It's
now.
kind of hard right now to find
I mean,
dates.
OkCupid did it before OkBoomer did it.
Oh, what do you mean? These days, well, I met my last relationship was in a pandemic, so
that should be a movie. Dating in the time of
See,
COVID.
I have friends that find it like it's tough to date through the pandemic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, apparently they have
There's a lot of different restraints that are put on as a result.
like when
It's
things
not just distance or time.
Like you can't go to a coffee shop anymore.
you can't
Hang out.
especially when things are in lockdown. But I've had people say like things go well when we meet. It's through online dating, right? Like things go well at the beginning, and then when things start to not go well, they blame it on either I'm still not over my ex, or it's the pandemic.
Okay,
They use the
that's
pandemic as a crutch. Like they admit that.
my recent ex didn't use the pandemic as a crutch. She used something worse than.
Yeah.
You guys know the story.
I don't know if you want to get into that.
No,
right now.
no, but the excuse she used for cheating was really bad.
Yeah.
Here's another question. Have you guys ever had a one night stand?
I have a funny story.
Okay, so
I don't think so.
can we be clear as to, no. Before we answer the question, can we be clear as to the definition of a one night
A
stand?
one night stand is when you basically proposition someone to sleep with them, and then that's kind of it.
You don't see them ever again.
maybe
After.
you'll
Oh,
see
I thought
them
it was you stand up all night and you last through the morning without falling asleep.
Good joke. Good joke.
No,
The 90s cult.
I have not, but I
I have a funny story, actually.
Okay.
I have my. It happened once with me.
I guess so.
Once.
Josh and I haven't done one night stands, but I will say,
I've done
It's
one
a-
night sleeps.
Yeah.
Everybody does with that logic. No, but please continue.
So for me, like, even if I did sleep with her on the night that we okay, so I went to a Halloween party years ago, and I wound up in a makeout session for half the night with this girl. She wanted to sleep with me, but and it was like, she was roommates with like 3 other girls, so like logistically, it was like, yeah, I like you, and I like you too. Do you want to go back to your place? It's like, oh yeah, no, my roommates don't like me bringing guys back. It's like, okay, come to my place. Sure. Where you live? I'm like, I'm in Richmond Hill, and we were downtown. It's like, it wouldn't have been that long. It would have been like hour bus ride. It would have been like busing. It would have been the same as busing out to Scarborough. I don't understand. That's the thing about dating when you live out in the suburbs and you live in Toronto and they live in Toronto. It's like, oh, you live in the boonies. No, I don't. Like, suburbs and boonies are not the same thing.
There's always that detachment between the downtown core, the popular places, and
But
the,
if we did sleep together, it wouldn't have counted as a one night stand because I said, hey, I like you. Do you actually want to go out? And at the time, I took her out that weekend and we saw Gravity, and it was actually a really nice time.
Yeah, I mean, there's potential for one night stands to go somewhere. Although, usually when you hook up with someone, the chances of you having a meaningful relationship kind of go downhill afterwards.
Yeah.
That's why I was very
You
careful.
fall into that trap where it's like, now do I have to commit? Like, yeah.
Okay, so I have a funny one. So I did not commit. I've done one night stands, but I don't really want to talk about them. I want to talk about this one because it was weird.
Okay.
So there's this girl I met. Remember when we used to go to Sexy Nerds?
Yes.
The cosplay party event that would always go on in Toronto.
Yeah.
R.I.P. But yeah.
Did they not do them anymore?
Well, obviously they can't do it anymore.
No,
but the point remains.
In post-COVID world, do you think it'll come back?
Wait, what's COVID? No, I'm just go ahead. Go ahead.
I wish.
I met a girl on the Facebook chat when in the profile I was looking for someone. I liked their picture, and then we started talking. And I knew her for a couple of years, and I just kind of she showed me she had like a what was it called? It was like a Pornhub page of like all these videos she did with her hub. Because she was I don't know if married, but like just like really in this long-term relationship with this guy. He's like, I like your stuff. And she's like, cool, you want to come by sometime? And I'm like, oh, but what about your boyfriend? Oh, he's fine with it. So it was like this open relationship kind of thing. And I was like, okay, sure, I guess I'll come by. So I went to her house. Her house was like absolutely littered with like figurines. Like, you think the Android dungeon is stacked? It was like 10 times more than that. There was dust everywhere, and I was just like, okay. And so
we got dust in here too, but
yeah, it was worse. So I sat down with her. It's like, so what do you want to what do you want to do? Like I felt like a kid asking for an ice cream cone. I was just like didn't really want to make a move because I saw her in person. Like she's really big, and I don't know. I don't care really, but it's just like I don't know. She didn't really look good that day.
Are we on the same page? Is this the girl who was dressed as the Overwatch? Is the Overwatch character?
Oh man, I fucking wish I got with that girl. Oh, God, no, it was someone else.
Okay.
The real talk is finally coming out.
Yeah, I liked her, but she has a boyfriend.
Which character from Overwatch was she?
She was Diva.
Super
hot ass Diva.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're sitting there. It's like, you want to watch Beavis and Butthead? And so we watched Beavis and Butthead. And she had this fucking weed machine that like filters the weed into like a balloon or some sort of plastic bag, and you like huff it.
Oh.
And she had,
but I thought you were not supposed to get high on your own supply.
No, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, like I didn't feel like doing anything, and she was like, she had the most weird laugh. She was like, like she had like stuff caught in her throat all the time. And I don't know, after a while, it's like I wasn't even in the mood anymore. I was just like, I think I'm just gonna go. I'm kind of hungry. I kind of just want to go home now. Bye. And she's like, oh, you sure? Mm-hmm. And then like a year later, I don't know why, she messaged me. It's like, so why didn't you sleep with me on our hookup?
A year ago? A year?
A year later, I was like,
no. 1 year later.
What the fuck, bro? I was just like, and at this point I was with Veronica, so it's like, yeah, and I was like, I don't want to get into this, and it's like, I don't know, I just didn't really feel it, like it's my choice, right? I can choose whether or not I want to sleep with you. It's not like it was written in stone. She's like, yeah, but like, what, why, what was this something I did? Was there something wrong with me? I just I don't fucking care. This woman's in her like late 30s. Why do I have to like be her self-help coach? And it's like I didn't even reply. And then she just got really pissed. I was like, fine, if you don't even want to care about it, and you don't deserve to like be friends with me. And she blocked me. And I'm like, there's some insecurities here that I just don't feel like getting. I don't care.
I think do I know this? Yes or no question. Do I know this person?
No, I don't think you ever encountered her. Yeah.
My one night stand story was my second apartment that I moved into with my buddies. I knew this girl from film school. She was in the acting course, and we were friends. We started off as friends, and we'd chill out a few times.
Here's the thing: we started off friends.
No.
It was cool, but it was all pretend.
No. This wasn't the girl in my short. No. Okay. That was somebody else. We clicked as friends. No, I don't think she was ever in one of my projects. So, yeah, come to think of it. We clicked as friends beforehand, and then when I moved into my second apartment, we realized that we live actually much closer to each other. So literally the first weekend after we get settled into the new apartment, she comes hang out with me. We go to the mall. We're just kind of chilling out there for a little bit, and then we go back to my place. And we got, I don't know if this term is still a thing anymore, but we got shibbied. Is
you
that
get high and drunk?
You get high and drunk.
I've never
I probably dated
How
myself.
have I never heard this term in my
Netflix
life?
and chilling come before or after that?
This is like circa like, dude, where's my car? Like 20 years ago.
Oh wow,
yeah,
that long ago.
that should be. I don't know if that's still a term, but yes, we got stoned.
Not.
We got stoned and high, and we had a
You know,
pretty
you got
Stoned and high.
Sorry, we got stoned,
Stoned
and
and
drunk.
high are the same.
We
As
got
opposed to just one of those two.
we got stoned and drunk.
Way to over-explain.
We got stoned and drunk, and we had a pretty good time just like philosophically chatting at first. Like we were just talking about whatever. It was like a really chill time. And then I went to the bathroom and I thought to myself, this is gonna happen. I know it. I felt it. I'm like, I knew it, like just the sense. I'm like, this is gonna happen actually.
Yeah.
And like my like sex life at the time was very like I had a friend with benefits, like actually like a good friend with benefits that was in Windsor that I did a few times with.
Lucky.
And like literally that was like the definition and perfect. Like I struck out with that friend. Like she didn't want to date. She was just like, I'll do it with you, and I liked hanging out with you, and that's it. Like literally don't cross the line, and I didn't cross the line either. Like that was perfect, right? Like that was really the only like kind of sexual experience that I had. But then when I went back into the bedroom and I just knew, I got the vibe that I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah,
it did.
Mm-hmm.
But things got awkward where halfway through she got sick and she threw up.
Oh no!
Yeah, she must have got like too much to drink, whatever.
You got chronicled.
So we stopped and I got her some water. We should kind of calm down. She was literally throwing up like in my wastebasket, like next to my bed, like nonstop. So we stopped
like
for a
super
while.
bad.
We stopped for a while. We kind of just chatted, whatever, and then we tried to. We picked up afterwards.
Okay.
And I kind of didn't feel it for some reason, and that's why I kind of regret it. And I also, okay, I'll confess this. I didn't finish.
Yeah,
And I
don't really blame you.
It always happen that way.
couldn't, and then it was weird. I walked her home. It was like the middle of the night, and on a work night too. Yeah. Fuck, I'm going to work like,
a few hours
That brings up an interesting sidebar, actually. Like, in terms of, like, the real intimate moments with your partner, because, like, when you're in long-term relationships, like most of us are,
yeah,
you're going to eventually be at a point where you might actually have to help your partner through some really rough times, whether physically, emotionally, and, like, you know, maybe doing that too soon, it's like your impression of them changed drastically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a difference. It's a different world too, and especially, like, I learned a lot ever since being with the one that I'm with now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same.
But yeah, no, I walked her home actually, and then I never saw her ever again. She ghosted me.
Oh, yeah, that's rough.
She did ghost me. And I you know what? At that time, I was like really wanting to see her more. Actually, like not even just for that. Like well, there was one time where, right after she kind of said, "Hey, are you busy?" And I kind of implied, "Oh, she want to see me again or something." But I was actually busy. But then she probably went, "Oh, he doesn't want to see me." But I would have saw her. But like I was just busy with other shit.
Yeah.
And I kind of don't remember that night that much, to be honest. For
it worked
obvious
a little
reasons.
too well, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then just I've made out with half a dozen girls before in my life, but nothing else sprung from that. But then 6 months prior to the person I'm with now was literally I stopped looking. And I actually look back saying like that was like a great time where I was just like me time, centered, just taking not taking myself seriously, more just like taking my like self-reflecting really seriously almost.
I think everyone needs time like that sometimes.
Yeah. So I mean that's kind of where I'm at now, but we'll like until we get into the one.
Okay.
But
because you confessed something,
sure.
When I lost my virginity, I didn't finish.
I mean, because you're kind of new to it, and
yeah,
this is kind of going into like just the person I'm with now. But we noticed something early with me that we kind of laughed at it. We called it porn star Cody. Because
can we get some details?
Because all I had back then was porn, right? So when I'm with the individual and I'm trying to put her into like positions where she's like, "Oh, I guess we're doing this," and like, "How is this possible?" It's like it's the biggest.
Also, like it warps your perceptions of like what you think actually is quote unquote cool in that sense, and then you kind of learn, It's actually very unfeasible and it's not comfortable.
It's monkey see, monkey do. That's all it is. It's a bad case.
Well,
of
this is why like porn is such a controversial topic when we talk about how it impacts the youth's perception of sex.
Yeah.
No, my first time was crazy. Like, it was pretty. I'm not gonna talk about the events of what I did, but it was fun. I actually think my first time was pretty good. The problem was the aftermath. See, I finally had it with a really good friend of mine. We were really close, and everyone was like, "Oh, you're eventually gonna date this girl. We all know it." And then afterwards, is like my parents basically told me to break up with her because it's like she kept like that girl you had, Cody, that kept playing games with you.
Yeah,
she was kind of the same. Like, it was just like, "Oh, I like you. Oh no, I like someone else. Oh, we should date. No, we shouldn't. I think I just see you as a friend." And then, like, afterwards, I had to break up with her, and she's like, "Fine, keep listening to your parents and have them do everything for you." And then after that, she systematically tried to sleep with every single one of my friends.
What?
Yes.
Why?
And there was one. The crazy, but like none of them took the bait. Like, everyone said no because it was like, no, Lyle's too close to us. We wouldn't want to hurt him. But the craziest situation was she made up a rumor that her dad beat her, just so that one of my friends' dads could be like, "Look, we gotta have her stay over for the night. We can't have her at her house." And so he's like, "Okay, fine." And then while my friend's setting up a bed for her in the other room, she's in his bedroom, like laying on his bed. It's like, this bed's so cozy, and he's like, "What? Get the fuck out of my room!" And then the next morning.
I love the way you word it.
Get the fuck out of my room.
It sounds like Biff from Back to the Future Part 2. Get the hell
out of my bed, old bitch! Anyways, and then, no, that's the crazy part. He wakes up the next morning, and her bra is on his, like, headboard.
What?
Yeah, she went into his room while he was sleeping.
She went in there.
Yeah.
Did she take advantage of him while he was...
He doesn't know.
Oh, my God.
Theory. So
she may or may not have raped him.
I don't want to go that far. I don't reply anything. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, that was a good tangent while it lasted.
Yeah, but bottom line, like, everybody stopped talking to her after that. And it's just like, I caused an avalanche of drama. But
clap for the drama instead of Alaska. Oh man, yeah, I've been pretty quiet for the last 45
should
minutes.
we maybe talk about how we met our significant others?
Sure. Let's
that means I'm going to be quiet for the next 45 minutes.
Yeah, Josh, how about you tell us how you met Marnie?
I'd love to know the story.
I think to sort of start with how I met my soon-to-be wife, because holy crap, we're getting married in like 3-ish months.
Oh,
it actually feels real now. Thank you. Well, I guess you really have to take it back to 2014, because towards the end of that year, I actually had my first actual proper relationship, which also started with OkCupid, and also, much like how I met Marnie, also started when I was going to basically give up on the site and delete my account. But that went okay, but it's to all the kids out there, don't have your first real relationship be long distance. I think I've said that several times, but it does not give you real healthy expectations for it to last. But like I said earlier, I broke up over the phone with her because I also knew that when you go 6 weeks without seeing someone, it gives you a lot of time to think about what you really want. But she had brought up that also that, like, I should definitely be with someone that lives closer, because she knew that, like, she lived several hours away, and going from, like, Richmond Hill, go all the way down Union Station on the subway or bus or whatever, to then take a VIA train to 45 minutes away, to then be in a car for a bit, it's a lot of travel. But
that sounds like a pain in the ass.
Yeah, after that point, I sort of took some time to, like, go back to school, focus on myself, and then the fall of 2017 comes around. I finished being in school for a year and a half straight for a second time, or for a second program, and I'm working at a library. Not exactly feeling super great about my state in life, even though I'm, like, in the quarter-life crisis period, which would make sense. And then I start talking to this girl. I think I asked her, because I think on her profile it said something about, like, she likes to sing. I think she was looking for just, to have a beer with dinner or something. It's been several years. I've forgotten the exact context, but this is something I will admit. I did keep all the email receipts from like when she responded to the messages. I kept those. I am never removing those. But
Sweet.
we started talking, getting to know each other, and one of the things I really appreciated about her right away was that she wanted to basically like make it like set a date to go out like right away. So like she was taking the initiative to actually like make a commitment and stick to it, because Marnie's probably the most reliable person I know.
Mm-hmm. She is
And
reliable.
so we started going out. The first date we went to was actually sort of like a multi-tiered thing, if you will. We met up at this store, Cosmo Music, because I actually had to get more drumsticks at the time, and I thought I would center it around that. So we both have a love of music. She still plays guitar pretty good, and we do try to do some jam sessions in the evenings after work.
Oh,
But we
that's awesome.
got to know each other, walked around the store.
The
Then
next
we
White
went out to the
Stripes.
parking lot.
The next
Oh,
one.
God.
They're not
This
siblings.
is like the first big sign, I think, for both of us that like, oh, this might work. I was driving my mom's old car at the time, which is the same color and model as hers. So she was like, oh, we drive the same car. I'm like, yeah, I guess we do. And then we just drove to Richmond Green, which is this like sports athletic center, and we ended up just watching a junior hockey game and having some cookies and cream bars. It was just like, we just end up just doing whatever and just enjoying our time with each other. And then from there, it just kind of, we went on 2 more dates after that, and then by the 3rd day, it was basically just like, so do you want to be in a relationship? I'm like, sure, why not? Do you? Sure. And it's basically been that way ever since. And we don't really have too many like big disagreements, because we always make sure we're on the same page with each other. And even when she's doing stuff for work in the evenings, or she's working here on Mondays and I'm working here sometimes, and we make sure to give each other space, but we also respect each other's space as well. Mm-hmm. I think that's really key in any long-term relationship. And especially once the pandemic hit, we came to rely on each other a lot more. And I didn't really realize, how big it is to be an independent adult until we moved in almost 1.5 years ago at this point. And she really helped me take charge of sort of myself and helped me realize I'm capable of a lot more than I think. And without her like motivating me to really apply myself, I wouldn't have ended up writing for like a pretty prominent national music magazine for a good chunk of time, and really being able to put myself out there and feel more confident. And I guess I did the same for her in some ways with her art, because she's actually right now, as of this recording, she is working on a collage project for this month on Instagram, which she just put a piece out on.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, and we basically felt that we would be getting married within, like, I want to say 3 months. I'm sure she can hear me saying this now and she'll correct me afterwards. But I remember, I think sometime in 2019, she texted me a picture of the engagement ring she wanted. And she said, when the time comes, just get me this one. I'm like, perfect. I don't have to go through the whole trouble of like surprising her and taking her to the store and putting on the ring. It also helps that her mom actually works at a jewelry store. And so that connection would actually help save us both some money, which is a good pro tip if anyone's listening. But with her help, with her mom's help, actually in August, I was able to actually quote unquote surprise her with the ring itself. Although we knew that it was ordered, it was just a matter of like I was waiting for the day to get there. So it wasn't a traditional surprise proposal, but we tend to not always do things by the book anyway, because we basically in July booked the venue before we even actually got the ring or did anything else.
Yeah,
that's really nice.
It is, and
I remember
that's what the fall's basically been like, just planning a wedding and then just waiting for it to be 2022.
Yeah, I remember you called me out of the blue one day and just like, I made the proposal. I'm like, oh, congrats!
Yeah,
so happy for you. Yeah, we're Cody and I, we're both groomsmen now for your wedding.
You're a groomsman?
What am I?
Oh, I thought you were.
Okay.
Oh, am I?
Oh.
No, this is a little awkward, but I've invited Cody to the wedding.
Oh, you invited?
Yeah.
It is nothing personal, but I've not known Cody or our fellow speaker Michael Lake that long.
We're all
No. I'm not offended at all.
We're all going to get together. We're all We're going to get together.
I've invited as many sort of podcast people as that I've known for a while. Because it's still a pandemic. There's still only so many people in a wedding party you can have.
It was an honor enough to be invited to your wedding to even begin with. I've only met.
This podcast gave me more friends.
I met you through this podcast technically, and I've only seen you in person once. And we need to like make a date.
We
We're
will,
working
please.
on it between weather and rolling lockdowns. It's a challenge.
Yeah.
But to, I guess, put it back on topic.
Yeah.
It just was the first time where, even on that first date, it was the most myself I felt on a first date, and I felt like that was a sort of sign I could sort of sense that maybe this is going to work. Plus the fact that we basically I lived like off of Bathurst and Shaftesbury area. She just lived straight down Bathurst, like past Steeles. So that's way easier than getting on the bus, then a subway, then a train, then waiting to be picked up in a car.
Yeah, agreed. I remember the day. So you guys, I was at the end of August of 2021. I was visiting my mom for a weekend because I hadn't seen her in a while, and I hadn't been home to Richmond Hill for a while. So I'm like, because you guys live in like the Vaughan area, like on the border of Richmond Hill, it's like I'm in the area. I'll come see you. So you guys invite me to dinner, and then you sit me down on the couch, and it's like, Evan, we have something for you, and it's like. The save the date, Josh and Marnie are getting married. It's like, oh man, I'm so happy. And it's like, and then you said, I need a best man. And I said, I accept. Because like, easiest decision of my fucking life,
I feel like I said it a little bit differently than that, but sure, let's go with that.
You didn't say it exactly like that. Yeah, I'm paraphrasing, but yeah.
This past summer, when all of us Corona vendors, as we've labeled it ourselves, when we all met in the park there, and all of us are just like literally scatterbrained, shooting the shit about whatever pop culture shit is there.
It was raining that day too.
It was raining that day, yeah. And Josh and Marnie were kind of like sidelined, and I felt a bit sidelined. All of a sudden, Marnie comes up to me and she just goes, "Congratulations on getting engaged." I went, "Oh, thank you. That's really nice of you." I guess Josh might have told you.
Yeah.
And then I forget what I said, but I think I said something like, "So when are you guys?" Da, 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 da. Like I said something along the lines of like that. But then,
I think it was that same week, so the seeds had probably already been planted, whether
that's so funny
directly or not.
Yeah. Because I think you and we moved in with our significant others like almost like the same time, right?
Yeah,
it was like
right.
September. No,
He just got it now.
it was like September. No, maybe like August of 2020. Yeah, it was
Mine
August.
was October. I took a little. Although we put the offer in on our current place around the civic holiday weekend of that month.
Yeah, that's good. It's perfect timing for all this.
Yeah,
Similar.
I think it's a lot about the little things, just especially in the last bits. Especially compassion is really important in a partner.
yeah.
And like the fact that she was willing, she waited like almost. I think we've been together for almost 3 years, and we finally moved in because like I needed to know that when I chose to leave home, that I was actually ready and I wasn't rushing into anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So Cody,
Yeah, Cody, tell us your story.
how did you meet Veronica? One thing, two. How are we doing this?
Double V.
Yeah, we both have a girlfriend named Veronica.
Yeah, when we like reconnected, and I said that, you're like, "Oh, I do too." And I'm like, "Wait, you're dating her? What?" it was like the way you worded it was like, "I'm dating Veronica too." I'm like, "What, you bastard!" I knew she was up to no good.
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Is this going to be the you know how they made a rom-com years ago called John Tucker Must Die? Veronica must die. Cause imagine a bunch of guys find out that they've been dating the same girl.
That I'm like, we almost kind of hinted at it earlier, but like the whole idea of like open relationships and polyamory, like that's kind of it was a bit of a subtle concept even in that movie,
Yeah, well, I only saw the first half of John Tucker Must Die. But yeah.
Well, you didn't see if he ends up dying.
You're right. I have no clue if he ends. Don't spoil the ending.
Does John die at the end? Evan, you experienced a polyamorous relationship when I took you to Oasis that one time.
Oh, right.
Wait, what?
We have to let's stay on topic.
Wait a minute.
Can we tell the story
what
after?
What does it have to do with the Gallagher Brothers?
Oh, I was about to say, wait. You're talking about the band.
No,
what?
You never heard of Oasis Aqualand?
Oh, that place. Sorry. Okay.
You heard
like
it?
Wet and Wild.
Wait, okay, so
who's Wildwater Kingdom, Champagne Supernovas in the sky?
It's kind of a side tangent.
Who here has not heard of Oasis?
I know about it.
Josh, have you heard of Oasis?
The lounge sex place.
Spa place called that.
Yeah.
It's no spa.
Kind. It has a sauna. You can get
well,
things are hot in there. Yes.
So this little story. First time Lyle ever takes me there. This cute girl. Why is her name
Don't worry.
escape me?
You don't need to say her.
Hey, no names.
No name, sorry.
No names. Definitely not no names. In
Oh,
story.
Lord, not this story.
But anyways,
So this cute girl is kind of eyeballing me the whole night, and I do notice that she's with these two other friends, one male, one female, and
fucking female.
they were both. Oh yeah, I know. Like so, eventually, like I sit down, she sit. I can't remember if I sat down and then she sat next to me or vice versa. But anyway, so like I got close to her. She started touching me. I started touching her a little bit, and then
there's some foot action too.
And this motherfucker keeps thinking I have a foot fetish.
She was giving you some foot action.
Yeah, I know she was. Yeah,
sucking your toes.
Hands touching hands, reaching out, touching you at the Oasis. Ba, ba, ba.
But anyway, so I'm like, this might go somewhere. And at that time, I was in a sexual dry spell, so I hadn't done it in a while. So I was like, okay, well, maybe it's going somewhere. Unfortunately, not. So I was like, so then her friend, I guess, caught on to the fact that she and I might hook up, and her female friend, not the guy friend.
Guy friend was oddly quiet the whole time.
She didn't like that note very much.
They're probably together.
All three of them were together.
No, like what?
All three of them were together.
No, I'm saying that they're probably a couple. One of them was probably a couple. Whatever sexual preference.
All three of them are a couple, though.
So
maybe they're in an open relationship.
So then, the girl in this polyamorous trio comes and she sees me, and then she's like, "Sit on your hands." I'm like, okay.
Yeah, no, and then
you come along.
Yeah, I was having festivities with an older woman, and I came back, and I was like, "Hey, Evan, I noticed you're with these people a lot. How do you do? How do you like my friend? This is his first time here." And she's like, "Lyle, I don't know who you are, but I despise you.
Like, I despise you both. So what you're gonna do is go away, or you're gonna sit on your fucking hands." And we're like,
sit on your hands.
Yeah, so it prevents you from having a boner or acting up, I guess.
I thought it was just really cold in there, and they turned the AC up.
Well, it was.
We were outside.
No,
actually.
she also said, she went on some stupid tangent. It's like, I like to see people suffer. It turns me on. So you're gonna sit on your hands, or you're gonna sit on your hands, or you're gonna leave. Like,
I don't know, after a while, it's like, I whispered to you, like, Evan, maybe we should just, like, I think we're barking up the wrong tree, you may just want to move on. And then, like, I left, and then I noticed you still hung around them a lot, and I was just like, oh, no.
Well, I didn't get creepy. I was like, yeah, okay, it's done.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, Oasis is kind of a mixed bag. I've had some interesting experiences, whether with other people or just seeing things I never would see in person. Like, stuff I'd probably see on the internet, and I'm just seeing it in front of me going, like, wow, I'm kind of going, this is nuts. I like this.
I would never do those types of places, and I think I've even told you this when we weren't recording. I just have, like, this phobia of, like, the human body at one point, because of, like, the whole sex ed thing scared me a bit.
Yeah, no, I mean...
Diseases, pregnancy, I was like, that's life-changing. This is shit that I don't want.
But I have two problems with
There's one thing I want. STDs. No, I'm joking.
There's two problems I have with Oasis. One, it's like, you kind of have to come in with low expectations or, like, no expectations. And even then, when nothing happens and everyone else is having fun, it's to quote Dr. Steve Brule, wine was invented by the Romans for orgies, and orgies are not too much fun if no one wants to do with you. And then
it's for your health.
For your health. But another thing is, like, it's expensive for guys. Like, if you're in a couple, it's like $80 for a couple. You can split that. It's like $40. But for guys, it's like, it went from like 60 to 80, and then it just went all the way up to 100. I'm just like, no. For like 100 for like maybe the possibility of finding someone fun? No way. It's not worth it, really. Yeah.
Wow, it really is a mirage.
Yeah, it's all a facade. It's all fugazi, yeah. So, Cody, how did you meet Veronica?
You're stuck in the waiting room.
Alright, so back then, I had two friends that were dating, Hunter and Jessica.
Yeah.
They were dating at the time, and Jessica had a long-time friend, going back to like when they were like super, super young, named Veronica. And I think it was at Hunter's birthday in like mid 2015, yeah. We all went to the Mandarin, and there was like a group of people there, and that was technically the first time that I met or saw Veronica, and like her sister was also there, and I don't remember if we even spoke because it was such a big table filled with friends and just people I had no idea. I had no idea who they were. And then half of us go back to Jess's place afterwards, and we're all playing Cards Against Humanity. And Veronica was apparently there. And again, we don't know if we like saw each other or recognized each other at all, right? But the funny thing is, and I keep telling her this even to this day, when Jess had a car back then, and she was kind of giving everybody a lift home afterwards, and I just recall like Jess giving lifts home to like a numerous people, and the one house that I remembered was the house that Veronica lives at. I'm like, I just remember a house that had like steps that went up on a high hill and then to the house. You know, it kind of looked like like not a haunted house, but like one of those like spooky houses with like the long steps up this.
Well, we already have one spooky boy.
I don't know that reference. But it was my birthday later on that year, and Jess was like, "Oh, can I bring my friend Veronica again?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure." And then it was kind of an awkward night where the pizza was arriving really fucking late.
Was it free?
No, and I put up an argument that it should have been free, and it was from Mama's Pizza. It was the first time I ordered there.
Man.
And that's where I invented the quote, "Fuck you, Mama, and your pizza." Like, we all quote that even to this day. I made it.
So did this dorky kid in a gray vest say pizza time when
Pizza
he dropped
time.
No. But
maybe he was Spider-Man.
the pizza arrived, but guess what? Apparently, it gave Veronica like really bad food poisoning probably afterwards because she puked after that. Apparently,
What is it with you and girls that puke, dude?
I don't know. And it was so funny. I knew that Veronica was like in my kind of like my radar of people I knew after that, but I didn't make any sort of like move, right? Like I kind of just like preserved her almost. Like she was in my like radar sort of so to speak.
Right.
And one time I got so drunk.
So to speak.
And one time I got so drunk and I randomly thanked her for coming to my birthday, right? And I'm drunk, right? And she, "Oh yeah, no worries." And
Random acts of drunken.
and I said something that even today she laughs at, where I said, "It was so humane of you to come to my birthday party." Like, who the fuck says that?
It was so humane.
And then
free pizza consumption.
and then 2016 hits, and I remember I was with Hunter and Jess, and we were at the mall, whatever. And I started to like notice Veronica more and more because Jess was bringing her along, and I kind of thought Jess and Hunter were talking behind my back, being like, "I think that Veronica and Cody, I think they can kind of like they might be a thing. So why don't we get these two to hang out a little bit more, you know, like." And I was hanging out with her and all of them like a lot, and then I remember I was watching Making a Murderer. That was back when that was like the talk of the town, whatever. And when I met up with Veronica and Jess and Hunter at the mall, Veronica and I just kind of clicked, and we started rambling and talking so much about Making a Murderer. And then this was around Valentine's Day, right?
Right.
And we missed out, really. It was Valentine's Day, and like
Valentine's Day in your heart.
She even tells me that around this time she was kind of walking around the mall with us, and that was the first time she kind of had this thought of like, I think I might like this guy. Because she didn't like a lot of Jess's friends, and she actually, before she met me, she saw my ALS bucket challenge video, and I had
that's very vintage 2014.
And I had a very dumb laugh when I had the ice poured on me. I was like, "Oh!" Like I sound like an idiot. And
she's like goofy. She
thought I sounded goofy from my laugh, and she thought that was kind of like, you know, like this guy's weird. So then, eventually, I was like, "Hey, do you want to just hang out?" She went, "Yeah, sure." And the first time we hung out, it was in my bedroom at like my old place, and we chatted like for 5-6 hours straight. Like we like chatted about everything. It's one of those conversations where like you couldn't stay on topic, like legit. Yeah. And we'd be like, "How the fuck did we get on this topic?" Like, you know, we go back and be like, "Oh,
it's
right."
Like you were shooting the shit or something.
Shooting. And then here's the first sign that I knew that she was the one. So Evan, you and her share a similarity. When I first met you, what movie did I show you the first time? Birdemic. I threw on Birdemic as the background movie, and the fact that she tolerated that, and I'm like explaining to her like this is the shittiest thing you'll ever see in your life, and she got it. Like she's like, yeah, this is so weird. I'm like, oh yes, okay, this is a good sign.
That's great.
And then I'm walking under the bus, and then it starts to get kind of slippery on the sidewalk, and I'm like, oh, maybe we should hold hands for safety. But we both knew what we were thinking, you know? And then literally we're like, let's go hang out again like 2 days later. And literally I could not wait to see her, and she couldn't wait to see me. And like 2 days after that, we hung out again. And then literally by a week later, after we first initially hung out, like we already went on our first date to see Zootopia, actually. And it was the first time that she slept over, and our first time we kissed, right? And then about a month and a half later, and she was kind of waiting for me to kind of make it official. Like we knew like we were in like something good, right? And she was kind of like why are you waiting so long to like make it official? And eventually when we're at High Park hanging out, we're kind of sitting there. I'm like, I literally said, so I hope this is the last time I say this to anybody, but do you want to go out with me? She went, yeah, sure. Of course. I'm like, what took you? She's like, what took you so long, actually?
So mine said the same thing.
And then like months go by, and I'm also not like being cynical about it, but like I was kind of like, okay, I hope I don't get heartbroken. I hope I don't make the wrong thing.
And that's always in the back of your mind when you really want something to work out.
Yeah, like I'm really trying to hold on to this, and like I hope I played my cards right. Like I really like this girl, and she seems like she likes me. She met my family, and they all like her. They were very welcoming them right off the bat. In fact, it was kind of awkward the first day she met my mom. The dogs ran away.
Oh, no.
They were fine, but my mom was just in like a state of a panic trying to call people that lived uptown. Like, did you see the dogs anywhere? Because it's been years since they've ran away. Like, they get out. They do get out. They don't come back home.
Oh, no.
I mean, you got a Bernese following a Newfoundland and Shepherd crossbreed.
Wow.
Like, there's hunting blood in there. Bella will not come home. And then around 6 months, I noticed, yeah, she's the one. Like, we said that on our first, like, getaway trip to the falls. We stayed at this, like, travel lounge, and we just did it all there. Like, Skywheel, the fall, Journey Beyond the Falls, the Hornblower, as they call it. It used to be called the Maid of the Mist, like the ferry. Yeah. They call it the Hornblower. I'm like, that's a sex position, probably. That literally sounds like a sex position. The Hornblower. What the fuck?
I wonder if Ricola knows anything about that.
And then, like we didn't live together until like. Well, here's the funny thing. We started to like find places to live. I'd say about 6 months before the pandemic, right? Like, I'd say late 2019, we started to actually actively, like, find a place together. Because she was living with her sister that whole time, which I valued. I was like, I want some me time, or I'll live by myself, whatever, when you guys are ready. And I also wanted to pay off my student loan and all that. And then we didn't have really good luck finding an apartment. A lot of shitty places we found, like places that like they do very clever things on these like sites where they like to use the wide angle lens to make the apartment look spacious and big, and then you go there and it's like a fucking cot.
Basically a closet, yeah.
And then the pandemic hit, and it was like, holy fuck, okay, like we're not looking for anything right now. But that did bring us closer, actually, because we ended up like it was always weird because like she would either come to my place. And, like, we just, like, hang out and take that seriously. And, like, we just do something together, right? Like, we weren't doing our own thing, right? And it's vice versa. Like, when I go over to her place, like, obviously her sister's over, so we're kind of just, like, hanging out, right? Like, just with them. The pandemic, when she was over at my place a lot, like, we spent a lot of time figuring out, like, wow, I can do my thing, and you can do your thing. It's kind of like living together. So early on in, like, quarantine, it was like, oh, this is kind of what it's going to be like when we live together. Right? And then fate as we have it. Literally the Friday that I pay off my 5-year student loan, the Monday after that was I called the place that we're sitting in today.
Nice.
Yeah, it was destiny. It was fate. Like, the timing of that is impeccable. And, yeah, we spent, like, it's just wonderful. We spend so much fucking time together in this new place. This new place has brought our relationship to, like, another level of, like, we just treat every room like kind of something special. The kitchen, the living room, the bedroom, the dining room for that matter. We turn our dining room into like literally like a patio, like an outside patio. Like when restaurants were closed, we had like the
oh, that's cool.
this what do you call them, the streamers, the streaming lights, and we throw in some jazz music in the background, like some lounge jazz music.
You feel like you're in a restaurant.
No, you gotta have the thinking man's jazz.
We literally have we literally go all out restaurant wise with our place. Like it's so great. And then last year for Valentine's Day, like we had another one of those dates like in our place. And then after that weekend, I go to work and I'm thinking to myself, holy shit, we're coming up to 5 years coming up in April. And I went, I think I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
This is the perfect opportunity. This is like an open window for such an amazing gift. I'm going to propose to her on our 5-year anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
So I told my mom first, and then I told Jess afterwards, and then I told her sisters afterwards, and I wanted to make it really secretive. Her sisters, like, literally went like detective style to try to find like her ring size.
Nice.
We were going back and forth on like ideas that she might like. There was like a ring that I bought online, and it was a very simple, nice ring. Like my mom, I'll never forget her reaction. She was kind of like rambling a bunch of stuff like, oh my God, then you can do this and you can do that. And then all of a sudden she kind of went, and she's on the phone with me going, oh my God, my head's about to explode. And I'm like, wait, what? What's going on? And she went, you're one step closer away from giving me grandbabies. She was so excited.
Oh.
And then, Veronica like fucking was surprised that day. Because the funny thing is I was gonna take her back to High Park and do it there. Because that was where we made it official. But unfortunately, it was raining that day. And in hindsight, I'm happy that I didn't take her in somewhere public to do this, because she wanted to be home, and like she was so surprised and like so happy that she didn't want to be around people for that to happen. So the fact that she was surprised and the ring fit, and of course she said yes, it was like one of the best days of my entire life. Like I'm not kidding.
That's awesome.
And
that's great.
I'm just like I'm so happy, And then like I make it Facebook public, and oh my God, my fucking like Facebook was about to explode.
Yep.
I got so many messages. I'm like, oh, I still have you on Facebook. Holy shit, thank you.
Yeah. I feel like relationship related victories really up your popularity. I've noticed that. Because the last time I changed my relationship status from single to in a relationship, like I got messages from people I literally did not know.
You still had them.
Like, I'm like, oh, hey, like I haven't spoken to you in years.
The same thing happened to me. Yeah. So right now we're just, even though we're in a spot right now where we're sort of like have one bank account for like future stuff like house, quote unquote, and then another pot of money that's for the wedding. Like Veronica and I are just a very simple couple. Like we have some very simple goals about we just want to like just work whatever job that we have, just to like save up to do the things that we like to do offhand, and like just not waste life on just like thinking about how great things would be and not doing them. The pandemic has definitely like slowed a lot of stuff down, and right now we're just in this position of just trying to save up right now. But no, I love you, babe, Phoebe, if you're listening. It's I couldn't ask for another person to be with. You are the one.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
So that's my story.
Okay, your Veronica's story. I guess it's my time.
Veronica Part 2.
Veronica Part 2.
The Veronica-ning?
The Veronica-ning.
Electric Boogaloo.
You start off your story like, so as you were doing that with your Veronica, on her spare time, she was coming over to my place. I knew it. You paid your Veronica to pose as like a fake Veronica. So that, like, imagine that. That'd be fucked.
My beard. All right,
you have an in-person Veronica that you pay is like, oh, that's my girlfriend, but really it's my
I better have one hell of a bank account to keep her around.
That's a terrible sitcom if I ever heard one.
Oh, God. Yeah. Okay, so how did I meet my Veronica? It was all the way back in, actually, Christmas of 2017. I was using dating apps. I just got 2 relationships. One was with a Mormon. Another was with a cougar. Neither panned out. But I I was starting to wonder, like, I just don't know if I can date older women, because while older women are fun and I'm very attracted to them, I just find that they're not very substantial. I'll be 22, they'll be 30, I'll be like 23, they'll be like 39. It's like it just doesn't pan out. So eventually I just started looking for people closer to my age and just like doing whatever I could. And I found her profile on OkCupid, and I was trying to I you know, it's a pet peeve of mine when they like I hate when girls write a book in their profile. And it's like sometimes it's just it's just like you are like, oh, I asked them a question like, how are you doing? What are you into? And it's like, didn't you read my book? And it's like, no.
Well, if you are interested in the girl, you would read it, and then
not if it's an entire book though. It's just like, what do I even do then?
If it's someone you really cared about, and you did respond with like showed proof that you really did read it, then they're gonna like that. They're gonna like that.
Yes, and that's where I'm going with this. It's like with Veronica's profile, she's like, oh, I'm a Venezuelan. I'm a professional pizza eater. I kick ass in Mario Kart. And I'm a YouTube addict, and then I was just like, oh yeah, hello there, my name's Lyle.
I am all of that.
I enjoy YouTube. I have many channels that I like. Here is my list. No, but I was just like, oh, I noticed you like YouTube. What are some of your favorite content creators? And she went on about, like, you know, Jacksepticeye and Odd Ones Out. I'm like, oh, I know Odd Ones Out. I liked his Subway video. And I told her a few of mine. Our tastes in YouTube are so different. She likes, like, Twitch streamers, and I like Newgrounds idiots, as I like to call them. And, yeah, so we were just chatting up, and it wasn't until January after Christmas, and I'm like, maybe we should chill out sometime. And I said, have you ever... I noticed in her profile she said she liked board games. So I'm like, how about we go to Riddle Room? You ever heard of Riddle Room? R.I.P. Riddle Room, by the way. It's no longer open.
I thought they changed.
I
thought they changed locations.
I think they've changed locations, but nothing's in development right now. The place where we met is gone now. Yeah. So. Yeah, but and I was a little apprehensive because I did take a date. I did have a Riddle Room date beforehand, and it went terribly. Because this girl is like, you want to play categories? And it's like, I explained the rules to her. We played one round. She's like, I don't want to play anymore. This game's too tough.
I was going to make the Pictionary joke. If someone tries to draw dignity.
I don't think she would like Pictionary, and she would have hated Pictionary too. But it was no chemistry with her, but with Veronica. So like I arrived first, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, I'm nervous. I better buy a drink or something. I was standing in line, and out she came. She went in, and she was wearing this nice, sophisticated coat. She was all dolled up. She looked great. And I was like, whoa, this is a nice-looking girl. She's even better looking than her profile.
That's nice. I like when that happens.
Did you say that?
No. That made me sound like a nerd. Looking better in IRL.
That seriously sounds like something Ernest Cline would write.
It sounds like something Wade Watts would say, yeah.
Exactly.
He did say.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, like, it was really fun. We were playing games like Headbands and Tessero and Categories. I whooped her ass in Categories. And Tessero. You know Tessero, right? That's the game with the tiles.
Yeah.
And you make like a kind of like a circuit with the tiles, and you try to like be the last one standing.
So Wordle before it was cool, basically.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, exactly. So like she had a tile.
Wordle? What is Wordle?
I don't know. I don't use
you got it set to M for mortal when you should have it set to W for Wordle.
I don't use Facebook anymore. Anyway, so she had a tile.
SpongeBob reference.
She had a tile where as soon as you used it, it made you go back. It was like a U-turn kind of tile. So, like, if that's your first tile in the game, you're out, because if you go outside the board, you're dead. She got that 3 times in a row.
Wow.
She just kept losing the game. She's like, this is a stupid game.
You've mentioned before that her and her family are very competitive with board games, right?
Yeah, she's a very competitive person. And she's like, next up, let's play some Mario Kart.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, the 64 version? No, the Wii.
I like the Wii one.
I hate the.
So
I
mean, I don't play it that often, but I enjoy it.
How come you couldn't have been in the middle and done Double Dash, the true fans pick?
Ah.
I never
Now
played.
there is a fan of culture.
I fucking hate the Wii. I hate the controls. I hate how the motion sensor is so fidgety. I just kept going. I couldn't go straight. I was like, "What the fuck is this shit? Fuck Nintendo. Fuck modern Nintendo with your gimmicky horse shit." But here I am.
The Wii U.
Here, more like the PU. No one's made that joke before. But anyways, so here I am, frustrated. I can't play this game at all. And I'm like, I gotta keep my cool. Because when I play games with people, I get very upset, and I don't want to do that on our
You
first
do.
date. Yeah, I do. You too can testify. But anyways, so I actually managed to keep my cool. I was like, oh, okay, this is great. This is great. Yeah, this is cool. You beat me. You flattened me like a pancake. That's cool. He's like, yeah. And then something interesting happened. She was like, so do you want to see a movie after this? And I'm like, oh, we didn't plan for that. And she's like, yeah, but I want to, I don't know. This is a nice, I'm having a great time. I don't want to leave yet.
Like how you're doing slight an impression of her too. That's so cute.
Yeah,
I can hear it. I can hear it.
Yeah. So then I was like, I really want to see The Shape of Water.
Mm-hmm.
There were
That's a great movie for a first date.
So, I'll get into that. So then she's like, okay.
Next to Blue Valentine and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
You know what? I went
That's a bit more romantic.
I once want. I was actually. I was. I gotta be honest. Like. It's a love. It's like from a place of love. But like one time, not too long ago, like within the last year or so, I was actually seeing this one girl that I was going out with a couple times, and I told you that I was gonna. I learned on our first date that she had never seen the movie Donnie Darko. So I told you that I was gonna invite her over to watch Donnie Darko, and you said that's not really a good first date movie. And then I'm like, really? Coming from the guy who took his now girlfriend to see The Shape of Water? Go to hell!
Again, The Shape of Water is more romantic
Just
than Donnie
imagine the
Darko.
monsters just like brooding in the waters of that world.
Yeah.
Why is my ceiling dripping so much? God damn it, deaf woman!
Oh man.
Oh, we're killing Josh. Anyway, so yeah, Shape of Water. Kind of a weird movie to watch on a date. I never seen it before, so I know what to expect.
Yeah.
First 5 minutes, the main character's just masturbating in a bathtub, and there's some sex scenes in that movie too that are pretty uncomfortable. It's not a good movie to hold hands to.
But did you hold hands?
Yeah, actually. So like the whole time, I'm like, I kind of want to hold this girl's hand. She's really pretty. And I'm like I'm like almost like the Thing from Addams Family. I'm just like inching my fingers, then I retract, then I retract, then I retract. And then eventually she held my hand because she knew what I was doing, so we held it. She made the first move.
Nice.
I was like, oh, she wants to hold my hand. Then after the movie, we went to her car, and she was driving me into the parking lot, and she was just like, so I have to go soon, and I'm like, it's okay. I have a feeling we're going to see each other soon. And then I moved in and kissed her. And the look on her face, I can't even, like, reconstruct it, but it was, like, such a look of, like, shock and, like, honest, like, anticipation. And it's like, oh, it's like she wanted that the whole evening. And then, and then we had a makeout session, and that was nice. And then I was like, we don't have to do anything in the car or anything. We can just move on and have another date, perhaps. And she's like, I'd like that. And then, the next 2 dates were pretty nice. Like, we went to, like, a pub. We went to, like, she went to my place, and then I met her parents. And then we went to her favorite Italian restaurant. And that was, like, a good month of a few dates. And I started to realize, like, this girl's she's got everything that I like. Like, she has a loving family. She doesn't have too many, like, hang-ups or anything. I don't have any red flags with her. And we talked a lot. And so, that night I asked her out. And she was super happy because I was actually her first boyfriend.
Aww.
Yeah, and if you want to know the first time I ever said I love you to Veronica, was about 2 months later, 2 or 3 months later. It was like we were playing a game where I had to, like, translate English sentences into Spanish.
Oh,
because
smooth.
and I misread her message saying I thought she said I love you deeply, but it was actually I care about you deeply, and then I said I love you too.
Ti amo means I love you, but what did she say?
I don't know. That was years ago.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So then she got all she blushed, and then like later I accidentally got a stomach flu from her because her whole family was sick to death of stomach flu.
Oh.
Well, that keeps finding its way back here, doesn't it?
Yeah. So more vomit.
It wasn't also from pizza, though, was it?
No.
Love makes you sick.
Can I say something?
To quote Dr. Oxford.
The night before I got sick, I watched Annihilation. That's a horrible movie to watch it just before you get stomach flu.
Oh God, I felt for you.
Like all the
foreshadowing,
all the
you are
guts, all the guts moving.
You gotta watch a Gaspar Noé movie to make you really sick.
Jesus.
So, anyways, yeah, that was a horrible stomach flu. That was like the worst sickness I've had in ages. Like I basically destroyed my bathtub. That's all I gotta say. I fucking destroyed my bathtub because I couldn't make it to the toilet on time.
Oh.
So I'm sick. I'm a zombie. And Veronica's like, I'm gonna come by and help you because I feel really responsible for this. I'm like, oh, do you now?
Oh.
And she brought Gatorade and she made me toast. I felt like incredibly better after that because I was so like deprived of all nutrients. And then I was like, oh yeah, I'm sorry if I accidentally like misread what you said. And then she's like, it's okay. And she brushed my forehead and she was like, because I do love you. And I was like, oh, that's
very
so nice.
sweet.
You know that scene in Wayne's World? Like, will you love me when I'm wearing my sequin suit and I'm a mess on the toilet and I'm just like hopped up on drugs and Cassandra's like, yeah. And it's kind of like that moment. And yeah, ever since it's been like a really quick 4 years, fellas. I won't lie. It's like I can't even believe it's been 4 years since I've been with her. It's like every time.
I'm coming up on 6.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Just staring past Lyle at the wall, just looking at his life.
Yeah, I know. It's and like everyone's like, "Oh, you're such a cute couple, such a beautiful relationship. You're so lucky to have each other." And it's like, yeah, I agree. It's all so straightforward. I almost feel like my life's gonna flash by like pretty quick if we like really commit together, and I will eventually. I just don't have the funds for it right now, but I'm working towards that. And yeah, we're gonna move in together pretty soon. She's having a new house built, so that'll be nice. Get to live together. Looking forward to that. That's kind of the biggest thing I'm looking forward to this year, honestly. And yeah, any final words? Yeah, it's the first relationship where it's like I don't feel like I'm hamstrung by anything. I feel like our boundaries are both pretty are set. I feel like we're both on the same wavelength all the time. There aren't like things that are kind of holding us back. Like when I was dating the Mormon, there was a lot of things holding us back, and there's like no like age difference that really hurts us. So that's good. And like yeah, we almost never argue about anything. We have different tastes, and like we can just binge shows, and she actually just loves it when I take the piss out of something. We're watching Friends right now, and she freaking loves it every time I make fun of Friends. She's like, why are the writers make Ross so shitty? Why is everyone a dick? It's like, Niall, it's a show. Like I know, but it's dumb.
If everyone was a dick, they'd all be named Richard.
Why is it called Friends if they all hook up in the end? Yeah. But anyways,
because if they called it Friends with Benefits, you know, it would have been too progressive for its time.
Too edgy for a '90s sitcom.
No, you got JT and Mila Kunis for that.
Yeah.
That was a funny aside. It was like Friends with Benefits and No Strings Attached both came out in theaters, I think, within the same year of each other, year period.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's one of those...
should we not have swapped the casts a little bit? Then it would have been Art Imitating Life.
Ah. Right, because Mila and Ashton were together. Well, Natalie Portman and JT never got together.
Well, yeah, I thought it was Jake Gyllenhaal and Anne Hathaway. No Strings Attached.
No, that's Love and Other Drugs.
Oh yeah.
Whatever, they're all the same.
Love is my drug, and so on and so forth.
Oh, I'm thinking of the wrong movie. Oh. I think that's the most important thing about like any relationship is just communication is like literally the most important thing. Like, I think Veronica knows every single one of my secrets. Like, truthfully. Like, I feel like just not holding things back is not really, like, the best thing. I just have, like, this thing of, like, honesty is just sort of, like, this thing that's, like, just get it out. You know, it kind of burns in my stomach. Don't hold it back. Just get it out, you know? Yeah, like, it's going to show your true colors. And how would you feel if someone's holding back something from you as well? You know, I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, it
like,
does. It does.
Yeah, like,
I can see that.
And same with you, Lyle. Like, it's like Veronica and I, like, even though we share like a lot of similarities, like even growing up and like today, like we have enough differences where it actually feels like a bit refreshing, where we actually like learn things off of each other and all that. Like, I can't cook worth the shit, but then I got better while living with her. Like, she didn't really have that much knowledge on, like, you know, like media and all that stuff, and like I kind of brought her to that. Is, you know, it's sort of like this like thing where like you sort of learn from each other, and like also we talk about like the future a lot, like taking it seriously. Like, do we actually want to, like, you know, family, house, and all that stuff? And I say, yeah. Like, I shrug. Like, I mean, I literally just go, yeah, like, I don't see any reason why I don't want, like, why to resist against that, you know, like.
Oh, Veronica gets so sick of me when I talk about movies with you guys. Because she's not nearly as, like, media literate as us. No. So it's just, like, insane.
So, she she never listens to So to Speak. Got it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it kind of comes back, just to bring it back to like communication, especially, I mean, for me, I have a tendency to not only be maybe overly blunt sometimes, but also overthink the shit out of everything. So it takes that special person to, like, you know, get you to stop being that nitpicky person.
Yeah,
appreciate things for what they are and enjoy things.
Veronica's the only person that I think knows how impatient and how easily triggered I can actually get sometimes, even if it's like the littlest things.
Right.
Like, you know, it's like James Cameron supposedly has, like, you know, a short temper that no one really knows about. Mm-hmm. Well, it's like Veronica knows about, like, my impatience sometimes.
All you have to do is say the other 3 Avatar movies are never coming out, or if they are, they will never be as good as the first one.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
Yep, and there goes that.
Most people already know about James Cameron's.
No, I wouldn't say I'm as short-tempered as him, but the idea that, like, there's only a certain amount of people that know, like, how... Because I'm not going to lash out in front of you guys, or even in front of friends, unless you give me a really good reason to.
On that point, Cody, to be honest, I don't see you... I just know that, like, you're kind of like me, where, like, you have a short temper on certain things. A short tempered person, like, loses it at, like, the slightest, like, reminder. You don't seem like that type of guy. You seem like, you know, if you get passionate about something like I do, then you'll lose your shit and I'll lose my shit.
Oh, I know. And I've been feeling a bit of a soon to be feud that could, you know what? Why don't we just have we all said our piece on this topic?
Well, actually, I felt like kind of the odd man out. So the way I see, if you guys are up for it, I can either tell you the story of how I met my first partner, or I can tell you the story of how I met my most recent partner.
Do both, but I
do both. Okay.
I want to remind me of a certain feud that I want to now unleash, and you guys can be the commentators on this civil debate that I want to get into that you've been building up for the past while now.
I have.
But go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. No. Yeah, if you had more. Yeah.
Okay, so how I met my first girlfriend ever. I was in film school. The day I met her, I was having a shitty day of classes, but the buddies I was hanging out with, who I was going to classes with at film school, Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters from 1986, was playing. Sorry. But okay, so the Ghostbusters from the 80s, the one from the 80s,
Ghostbusters 2.
No, stop. The good one, yeah. The Ghostbusters Afterlife wasn't fine. The only quality good one. Anyway, so. When my friends invited me to come see Ghostbusters with them, I realized I had 2 options. I'm not in a good mood and I'm kind of cranky, so I can either go with them to see it or I can go home. Now that I look back, I'm glad I went with them to see it because had I not, I probably wouldn't have met my first girlfriend, because I get on the bus, and while I'm on the bus, I'm actually listening to headphones, and then this cute girl gets on at one of the main transit hubs in Richmond Hill. She sits down, and then she strikes up a conversation with me, and she asked me if she knew. She said it was one of those, you look really familiar, but I can't remember your name. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't remember you from anywhere. I'm like, so I apologize. Like, so sorry, I didn't mean to make this weird. It's like, oh no, you didn't. And then she's like, so what are you listening to? I had my earbuds on, and just for the record, I was listening to "We Are Who We Are" by Kesha at the time.
Hey.
Yeah.
Despite the problematic stuff around the producer of most of that early Kesha stuff, it still slaps.
Yeah, no. Kesha has some damn good tunes. Anyway, so
she can sing.
So then I told her what I was listening to, and then we kind of got talk. This was right around Halloween, so she told me I told her what I was going to be. At the time, it was Captain Canada, which I had no clue was going to be a Reddit sensation.
Mm-hmm.
But then she told me she was going to go as Belle from Beauty and the Beast, and I was like, that's great. And then, so as we're coming up to, I had to get off before she did, because I was on my way to Value Village to buy something for my costume. And then she's like, so you still don't remember where you think you know me from? And she's like, no, sorry, but you just look familiar. I'm like, well, if you happen to remember where I'm from, then here's my number and text me.
You know, I feel like this is building up to something.
Yeah. Well, no, it did. Like, so basically,
you know, in another life.
no. So we texted each other, and then we kind of started to hit it off, and then she's like, I'll just cut straight to it. I find you attractive. Do you want to go out? I'm like, sure. So
she asked you out.
She technically suggested that we meet up. I was the one who arranged everything. We did dinner and a movie, which now you and I don't look too kind. The movie you and I don't look too kindly on. She and I saw 2 movies together in our time. We saw Argo on our first date, and we saw Skyfall on our second date.
This is fall of 2012.
Fall of 2012. Yeah,
I know those times.
The Avengers was hot shit. Yeah, no, it was a good time to be alive. Obama got reelected. Good stuff. So, yeah.
Coming from Canada, Obama got elected.
Keep going on that road.
Yeah. So, anyways, so you guys wanted me to do a double feature. So, how I met my most recent partner. This one I met for my first girlfriend. I met in person. My second girlfriend I met online. I met my most recent partner on eHarmony, and she liked a written portion of my profile that very few women actually do like. I said, I want to get lost in the conversational wilderness with someone, and I'm like, okay. And then she when I said, hey, I like your profile, and then I asked her about her job, she actually sent me a long profile that was a long response that was engaging, and it felt like there was effort put into it. So this might sound presumptuous, but immediately once I started talking to her, I kept the conversation going, and then a day and a half or so later, I was like, something in my core being was like, I gotta meet this woman. And so when we did meet, we hit it off, and we actually took things we started out at a bar in the Danforth, and then so we hit it off. We have a great conversation, and then we take a little walk down to Riverdale, on the east side of the Don Valley that overlooks the city, and we actually wound up in an impromptu makeout session there too. But what's interesting is, we both realized that it happened really fast, and neither of us were sure how to feel about it, but we agreed to call each other the next day and talk about it, and then that's when we agreed to go out a second time. So, because it's like, well, I know that we like each other, and then this relationship did happen really fast in retrospect, which, I'm fine with. Maybe I hope my next relationship goes a little slower.
It will. Because you learn.
But this time, on our second date, she sleeps over. And this was not planned. Like, I knew we were going to go out, but what wasn't the sleepover was not planned. So I'm like, okay, let's do it. And then our third date, we went to see Dune. And
I never heard of that.
yeah, just a little movie. It came and went.
I think you'd like it, Cody.
Yeah.
What's it about?
Sand.
People being really salty for some reason, and I think there's a war.
Actually, I think they're kind of spicy.
Yeah.
Wait, sand.
I don't like sand.
I think there's something about history and space, and it's being split into 2 parts because
more like 10 parts if they're actually going to do justice to all the books. But anyways. So anyway, I take her out for dinner and drinks. We go see Dune, and then we take it back to her place, and then that's when I asked her if she wanted to be official, because I took a page out of both Lyle and Josh's books, somewhat combined, because when Josh told me, how he and Marnie actually became official, he said he asked her out on date number 3, and I'm like, it's date number 3, so why not? And she was like, yeah, okay. And then it was great what is intriguing to me is this was my first relationship in like a 9-year gap between my last one. Like there were dates here and there were crushes here and there, but nothing serious like this. So it was a great experience. And in addition to developing feelings for her, I also developed feelings for her dog. And now I love Pomeranians, and I'm actually seriously considering adopting one for a future apartment.
If you do, it is a good conversation
I'm sorry,
starter.
are we just going to gloss over the future apartment thing that you just dropped on us?
What? Well, future apartment. Well, hey, I don't know where I'm living, within the next year or so. I'm still looking too. But
okay. You made it seem like you already had.
Oh no! I don't have anything lined up. But my hope is that the next place I get, which I'm currently in talks to bunk up with a good friend, a person I've been friends with for 2 years now. So it's kind of like I go from being roommates with one close friend to being possibly roommates with another close friend. So so if that I'm trying to manifest a bigger place, a more spacious place and I want to get a cat first, and then if I can adapt well to taking care of a cat in my lifestyle, then
cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria.
All right, we get the point.
All right, so
back to your story.
Those are the 2 stories of how my 2 relationships that I've been in came to be, and I am happy. How they all start is always going to be a great memory, and
it's going back to what we said. The journey, while it lasted, was nice, but clearly, destination, it can either end bad or end good, but it clearly didn't last for a good reason. But what you had at the time was the best.
Exactly, yeah. And although when you met. When you met my partner, I was a little taken aback when, after I told you about how we fell out and you were comforting me, you said, oh, by the way, Evan, she told me that when I got her alone, she's like, so you and Evan saw Dune together. Yeah, I didn't like the movie. Don't tell Evan. I'm like,
I should have thought red flag.
Well, no, because not the fact that she didn't like the movie. I don't give a shit. But the fact that's why wouldn't you just want to tell your partner? That was and you know what? We actually
it doesn't make any sense.
After the first week of our relationship, I was a nervous wreck because my last relationship ended very abruptly, and I was it was right after I asked her, do you want to be official? She's like, yeah, sure. And then literally my first girlfriend a couple of days later was like, yeah, this is moving too fast and I'm still in love with my ex. But then, so with my last girlfriend, it was well, we had a conversation about everything that we're going to be to each other in a relationship. And one of the rules we established with each other after the first week was we can't lie or fib to each other. We have to be forthcoming always. And if And I have a hair trigger for hypocrisy, so if I say anything more, I might actually lose my temper a little bit.
Yeah. Let's just.
Yeah. Anyway, so what's this feud you want to have with me?
Oh, well, hang on. I just wanted to say, man, like it just don't give up.
Thank you.
Don't give up. Like, like I know all of us are in like different sort of like
Yeah.
love lives right now, but like you're in. I know people that are in the exact same boat as you, just trying to find. No, not boat. That's an understatement. Same cruise. And there's nothing wrong with being in a cruise.
The Oasis of the Seas.
That's
other than getting an outbreak from COVID, the cruise is
wait. A totally
an emotional cruise of the heart.
Wait. A totally fun thing Evan will never do again.
My favorite episode of The Meads. The Meads.
The Gronagers. The McDonald's. The Weinbergs.
That actually
it is kind of funny here because like you bring up the idea of like in traditional like gender conforming marriages, the woman takes the man's last name, but like Cody, I don't know if that's something you've talked about with Veronica, but like Marty and I talked a bit ago, and we're totally fine with each of us keeping our own name.
Yeah, she wants to hyphenate.
Actually. Oh, so does mine. Actually,
because actually, Veronica,
McDonald.
No, because my mom, because my dad's full name is like Steve Price, and then my mom wanted to go Stacy McDonald. Or Stacy Price, but I thought like, no, keep the name McDonald. So she literally kept it just because I pressured her to do it.
Wow.
I don't know why. I didn't want like things to change so much. Again, change complexity, whatever. But it's the opposite for Veronica. I thought she was going to hyphenate and go Veronica McDonald Scott, but that doesn't sound good. It actually sounds like a name, Veronica Scott McDonald. That's way better. Veronica Scott McDonald is way better. So she's going to go with that eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing because, like, basically, my soon-to-be mother-in-law, Marnie's her only child, so she would basically be at this point the last of that last name because some of her other cousins have, like, they obviously, her aunts have different last names and stuff, so she would like to keep that going, and we obviously stuff like, having kids and all that, we've talked about it, but for right now, for at least the next 5-year period, we're not really going to think much about it because we have like more pressing goals for us to do right now.
We know that your lives change drastically once kids come into the mix. Like we want to enjoy us time and obviously our individual me times. And I share the same thing with you, Josh. Like we do value each other's like me time, especially.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's sort of an introvert, and I'm kind of like I sound like a superhero when I say this, but like I'm an extrovert during the day and an introvert during the night.
Oh, same.
Like, I don't know. That's sort of my personality.
It feels like a reverse superhero.
I feel like I don't know if Lyle can attest to any of this, but I feel we all have like the same commonality. You're like, actually.
What are you more as, Lyle?
What's the question?
Extrovert or introvert?
Yeah. What in my relationship,
or just
and in general as a person.
Predominantly, I'm pretty introverted and quiet. I know someone in my band, like, because I'm the band leader, it actually brings out my extrovert side a lot, but that rarely comes out.
You're like a leader.
Yeah, sometimes.
A silent leader.
Sometimes I feel like a sidekick, though.
You
know what sucks? It's like Valentine's Day doesn't feel special for me anymore, because my anniversary is on the 31st, my birthday's on February 4th, and my Valentine's Day is on the 14th. It's too much. February is like my busiest time. Holy shit. Like, and that's on top of, like, my baseline challenge series.
And then you got my birthday before all that, so...
Yeah, March and April's busy. Well, technically this month is busy because, like, one of her cousin's birthdays is actually this coming weekend, so we go to visit her mom for that, but we get to have a nice dinner. Then her birthday and her bridal shower will both be next month in March. And then my birthday is the month after that. And not to mention there's... a bunch of other stuff surrounding the wedding to do leading up to that. And then May is the wedding and the long weekend towards the end of that, and also the day after the wedding's Mother's Day, so...
Cheers, everybody. To Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
And even if you're like Evan and you're still on the road, we appreciate you too.
Absolutely.
Thanks. Yeah.
Singles
inclusion day.
I love you guys. I love this podcast.
I love you guys.
I love love.
I love love.
Now, tonight on the Weinbergs, who cares?
You love it a lot.